the hell is this super chat thing bugging out? Chill. God, that song is so fire. Shout out to Martin for that once again. Oh, and then that lip smack at the end. It's so mysterious. It's so mysterious. What's up, everybody? Vovo Gaming, Jackie, RS, Sully, Jeremy, Bree, B-Don. No worries, man. Don't even worry about it, my friend. I hope you have a great dinner with your family. Who else? Travado. Just in time to get it cracking. Let's go. What's up, Ronald? Let me pop some tunes on real quick while we're just chilling here. How's everybody doing? It's a big ass mug. I think it's becoming my favorite mug. I know I got it for you, but I think I think I use it more than you do. Sorry, give me a sec so I can find some royalty-free lo-fi beats. You already know the deal. Streaming Wi-Fi or lo-fi? Yeah, let's try that. Sure. All mugs purchased will be used by us both. True. No copyright zone. Jackie, I've been so bad with it lately. I've been doing some very copyright infringement shit lately. Folks that have been in the last few streams know. I've gotten hit with so many alerts. And on top of that too, I got my stream suspended for 10 minutes one time. We all had to just sit here watching a black screen, hoping that it was coming back. That was a weird time. Shout out to anyone that was there for that. That's another good one too. Yeah, I like the big mugs. A lot of the mugs that we have in our mug collection are pretty small, and I just feel like I want a lot of room to work with, you know. Well, to produce my own music. If you do, let me know if I can. Anyone that produces their own music, drop it in the Discord. And let me know if I have permission to use it in the streams. YouTube has been putting you in the timeout corner. It really has. Isn't that funny? How it really did feel like I was in a timeout corner. And part of me is worried about doing streams like this because, for example, last stream I got hit with copyright for a 5-second clip of a Doctor Who episode from the 70s. And I wasn't even planning on watching a video about Doctor Who. It was just something. It was for the Max Headroom thing. So, what can you do? What's up, Martin? Just finished recording a video and just barely missed the intro. Love that you used the mystique. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was hoping that people from the last stream were able to drop in early for it. And man, what a good song. I've been jamming to it quite a bit the last day or so, and it gives me so much peace of mind playing it on stream knowing that it's not gonna get hit with copyright because nobody knows who made the song. I buy small mugs for my small hands. But we both love the big mugs. Check out this big ass mug I got for Bree while I was in Vegas earlier this year. It's the size of my fucking face. I love it. Oh, you bought a mug for it? Can't wait to see it. It'll go well with your "This is the skin of a killer, Bella" t-shirt. There's some editing music softwares I used to do it. It's annoying sometimes, but hey, you can make your own tune. Yeah, for sure. Anytime you're making something, that's cool. It's worth celebrating. I came here extra early because I was precisely expecting that song to make it. If Vegas, speaking of Vegas, if Vegas had like a money line for it of like, will Joey use the Mysterious song as his intro for this stream, y'all would have all made some money. So congratulations. I had to do it. I was even thinking about changing the, like, this video. Oops. I was gonna change. I'm not even playing the song. I was gonna change that to like a down the rabbit hole thing, but I didn't have time. I was gonna get real different with it. Is there coffee in that mug? Yeah, I'm just sipping on a little coffee. I also have some water, and I have my sponsor for the evening, as always, Crave chocolate cereal. I don't know if I'll. You know what? Let's crack this thing open, because I do want to. I will let you guys know I'm fucking starving. There's nothing that makes me hungrier than streaming. Don't know why. I could even like eat 5 minutes before streaming, and then once I hit record, once I hit go live, I'm so hungry. What's up, Anna? Real quick before I go, a good video you could watch is the search for DB Cooper by a channel. Okay, awesome. I was gonna say I would love some suggestions, because thank you for that. I don't know if you have to rush out of here, so I'll just say thank you real quick. I'm gonna write this down. For tonight, I have a couple things that we can look at, but I would love to get suggestions from you guys. And my only notes for what I'm looking for is nothing disturbing. I don't want disturbing content. I think that there has to be internet rabbit holes that one can go down without diving into the disturbing side of the pool. Although that is much of the internet rabbit hole community. So nothing too disturbing. And it can be scary, but not too scary. Because it's me that we're talking about here. I would love just fun, mysterious rabbit holes. So the search for DB Cooper by a chance. Okay, that's perfect. I appreciate that. And honestly, you and Martin both have earned my trust when it comes to this kind of stuff. Define scary. I think that, like, use your judgment, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't have to be anything like, I don't know, like jump scares. I guess here we go. This is it. Nothing like, it can be scary, but like, I don't want it to be like scary for the sake of being scary. I would rather be more focused on like the mysterious part of it, like the whole, what's going on, situation. I don't know. I'm really bad at describing this kind of stuff, but I'll just say, let's have fun with it. Like, I know that there's like the Walton Files. I know that there's the like analog horror rabbit holes that YouTube has, and those sound fun. Sound a little too scary for me. I'm searching my brain through to remember some rabbit holes right now. I mean, no pressure, no pressure. I got you guys. Like, I don't want any pressure on you guys. You're here you're here to kick it. But if anything does come to mind, don't hesitate to hit me with a suggestion. I have a notepad right here. I'll write them down. What's up, Wizard? Remember Lonely Girl 15? Absolutely. That even like predates me on YouTube. Joey eats an entire beef Wellington, and as soon as he hits the live button, he immediately requires 4 ice cream cones. Oh, that would hit the spot right now. That would hit the spot right now. It's called Crave for a reason. Absolutely. I'm gonna bet right now that there's another rabbit hole in this list connected to Pizza Hut again. See, that sounds fun. That doesn't sound too scary. If it makes you go, ooh, instead of, oh God, no. Yeah, I don't want to be like... I don't want to be disturbed. I can be scared, but I don't want to be disturbed. And I think that I say nothing too scary because I think once you hit... I think after a certain point with scary stuff, it likely becomes disturbing. So scary that it's disturbing. So I guess just like mild scary. I don't know. What's up, Gnarly? But again, I'm also like down to explore. I also, and then the third point too, let's not get me flagged. I know it's weird the way that YouTube works because you can upload a video that is like mad disturbing on YouTube. But I feel like once you go live and like play that and like you're watching that disturbing video on YouTube, live on YouTube, all of a sudden that might become an issue. I don't know. And by disturbing, I mean like inappropriate. What am I doing? Why am I so... I can't... I'm not doing a good job of describing this. I probably should have prepared for this stream a little bit more, but... My rabbit hole conspiracy is that they stopped making pockets for women to force us to buy handbags. I think that's like... Gotta be confirmed. Is that even a rabbit hole? Because I feel like that's confirmed. I'm 100% in agreement with you. Can you play... I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that game. Sorry. I like the idea to this. What's up, Slasher? Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I think, yeah, we did this basically. This was basically what we did last stream on Tuesday. And it was very fun. I'm trying to top the ride that we had last stream. Because we had some weird shit. We had the most mysterious song of the internet. We had the strange sounds in Portland. We had I Wanna Marry Harry. We had Who's Your Daddy? We had some weird shit. I said that years ago and people told me I was out of my mind. Well, I can check that off my list then. I mean, I'm not in, I don't know, but I feel like that's, yeah. I feel like that's confirmed. It's gonna be hard. I know. and again, no pressure. We're just chilling. I'm having a good time. It's gonna be hard to top last stream's content. It was a wild ride. That's for sure. Let me see what I have here. We could definitely always... Wait, let me go to my... I made a quick playlist of it. Oh, I think I fucked up. That's fine. I thought I made a new playlist for all of the videos that we could potentially watch today, but apparently I added all the videos to a playlist that I created back in like 2010, and so it has 25 videos on it when I only added 3. But one of them is called, it's from a channel called Slightly Sociable, and it's called The 60-Second Audio File That Has Puzzled the Internet for Decades. Doesn't sound too scary, and it also sounds similar to the vibes that we had last stream. Another one is called The 5 Unsolved Mysteries from the Early Days of the Internet. By Nation Squid. I almost said Liquid Squid. And then a third one is called Willy 2024, the Internet's Resident Time Traveler. YouTube Unsolved. I like the sound of that. That sounds fun. What's up, Ashley? I saw a video yesterday about a mystery murder. A guy in a suit found at the beach in Australia with no signs of blood loss or poisoning called the Somerton Man. I don't know if that's a good rabbit hole. That does sound interesting. That sounds interesting. Did you talk about the Pokemon Mandela effect thing where there's another dimension where Digimon dominated because of episodes? Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit. I didn't know that was a thing. I thought someone else brought that up. Anna, if you can, do you have any I'm interested. I'm down to talk about this. What would I type in for that? I'm down to add this to the list. Pokemon Mandela effect. I thought someone mentioned that as like their own concept, and I'm like, damn, that's a cool idea. Cause I'm not gonna lie, like I grew up, I liked Digimon a lot. I mean, not as much as Pokemon, but I still think Digimon is underrated. The Digimon movie, when it first came out, that shit was so good. I remember loving it because it had something to do with like cyberspace. I have a memory about cyberspace being involved with it. I don't know. I remember liking it. I remember reading Digimon books. Didn't they have a book series? I liked it. Underrated. That 60-second audio file thing sounds interesting as hell. Need to know about it. Okay, yeah, that's going down for sure. Yeah, me, I brought up. Oh, there we go. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. What's up, Dr. Magic? How you doing tonight, man? Maybe a manga. Was it a manga? I don't know. I feel like it was a book. Also, I just realized I gotta add someone's name into the membership thing. Give me 1 sec. We're chilling, though. We're chilling. There we are. There we go. And here we are. I'm gonna add this. I found a video. Wait, let me just see real quick. Isn't it pronounced Digimon? What was I pronouncing it as? Was I pronouncing it wrong? Jeez. What's up, Elliot? Say hi if you're real. Y'all see that new Scream movie? Yeah, I watched it. It was good. I haven't seen any of the other Scream movies, though. That was the only one that I've seen. It's pronounced D. No, it's not. Out of nowhere, the quality went to, and I remember that it was like what it was like to watch 8 pixels at a time. I gotta turn some fans on. It's getting hot in here. Also, thank you so much to anyone that watched my video that I dropped yesterday. I love shit like that. So when the idea came to me to make a video about the longest movies ever made, it felt right. It felt right. Because I love talking about movies, and I don't love it, but I'm very fixated on just like the passing of time. I think that it's like a subject that I could make shit about forever and ever and ever. And so combining those two is what that video was. What if we could find some rabbit holes involving rabbits? Seems right to me. Wait, okay. It's pronounced. No, it's not. No, it's not. What's up, Clyde? Our very own film appreciation professor. Hey, you don't even have to. I'm just I'm a student myself, and we're just doing a round table discussion. I think that's one of the funny things about like posting movie content on TikTok is that people automatically assume that you are claiming to be an authority figure in that subject. Bro, I'm just relaying information that I find interesting. You got so serious, did I? How is Digimon actually pronounced? Be for real with me.
Digimon.
That's what I said.
Digimon.
That's what I said.
Digimon.
That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said. There's another There's another video also on this, Slightly Sociable. I haven't seen any of their videos, but they have my attention with... Ooh, they have my attention with a few of these videos. One of them is called The Dark Side of Spotify. I don't know. That sounds kind of fun. And then another one is called Reddit's Secret Golden Rabbit Hole Internet Oddities. It's pronounced Dookie, man. One large Dookie soup. We were just backing you up, buddy. Nothing. Nobody said otherwise. Okay. Was I tripping myself out? I don't know who that AI lady is. Seems like a farce. Have you guys ever seen this? Pronounce. This is something that me and me and my old coworkers used to be obsessed with this. I hope I clicked the right one. So this is how to pronounce. I'll just pull it up. How to pronounce that.
Sinakina dody chody. Si? Ninakina dody chody. Sinacody dody chody.
Sinakina dody chody.
Sinakina.
Ninakida dody chody. That's not how you pronounce it. I love the concept of a pronunciation channel on YouTube where they get everything wrong. I think that is maybe the most brilliant concept for a YouTube channel ever created, period. Like, they win. They win YouTube. It has 500,000 subscribers. This video alone has 2.3 million views, and it's just a blank video with a word, 8 seconds. They say the word wrong, move on to the next video that you're creating, and it's hysterical. I've gone back to this video a billion times. Sinakida dody chody. Sai. Ninakida dody chody. Have you heard of the backrooms? Yes. Is that something that we should dive into? Because I know about them, and they're spooky. But I don't know if I've ever watched any video content about it. So I think that could be fun. As long as it's not like, here's my question. Is it like disturbing? Is there any trigger warnings that I should be worried about? That's something that I just want to be mindful of, that kind of stuff. Like, I think this stream is just like, we're just having fun. So like, I don't want it to get like too crazy. And I don't know enough about backrooms, but I feel like I know the gist of it. Oh, the pregnant video. That one's really good too. Sinakida dody chody. No trigger warnings? Okay. Is there a... I'm down to add that. I think that's a great idea. Do you have a video that you would recommend? It's scary though. I think that I'm down to try it if you guys want to. If you have suggestions though, I feel like like what could I do? Just type in backrooms. Backrooms explained. I'll just type in backrooms first. Oh my god. I love... Man, I know that people like shit on the YouTube thumbnail faces. I think if you do it right, they're incredible. Look at this one. This guy nailed it. Look at this YouTube thumbnail face. I think it's perfect. This one right here. That is so funny. It's so funny and so fitting. I mean, 18 million views. No wonder. I mean, if you can nail the YouTube thumbnail face, you're golden. And he nailed it. It's funny, but it's also like perfect because he looks scared. It's good. I just shout out to the lurkers and shout out to the YouTube thumbnail faces. What's up, Farron? Scientology is a rabbit hole lined with celebrities. Oof, true. I think that's a... That would be like a whole 4-hour stream by itself. Scientology freaks me out. Like, I don't even know if I would want to make any Scientology content because they'd come after me, you know? It freaks me out even saying it on a stream. Is there one called Backrooms Found Footage? I can look. Oh yeah. This one has this is a 9-minute video with 17 million views 1 month ago. Holy shit, good for that guy. Good for that guy. 17. Okay, let me do the math real quick. If he, let's say he's making a CPM of $3 for 17 million views. No way. He's making more than that. That's got to be at least an $8 CPM. Yeah, he made 6 figures in just 1 month off of one video. Good on him. Anderson, why you dropping these links in my chat, Anderson? Let me catch up in the chat. I actually held off researching the backrooms for something like this. I would love to. There's some analog videos from it as well, although I kind of want to react to them on my channel. Okay. Well, hey, if you want to just like, I'll give you a warning when we're about to drop into the backrooms videos. We got a few other videos that we'll dive into first. He used to do clickbait back in the day. Thought he quit. He's still out there, huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, he's 18 million subscribers. It shows how long I've been away from YouTube. Like, there are people that have 18 million subscribers and I've never heard of them. But it's a good-ass thumbnail. How do you feel about rabbit holes about ghosts? I don't believe in ghosts, but I like talking about them. You know, same. Same. I think that's a good way to describe it. I don't really believe in ghosts, but I think it's a fun subject. To a degree. Don't pull out an Ouija board near me. All of a sudden, I believe in ghosts, you know? What is Scientology? The creator of the found footage. 16 years old. Oh, interesting. Scientology, it's a... I don't really know how to describe it, quite honestly. It's a religion that was developed, I think, like back in the 80s. And it's just like very sketchy because there's a lot of money involved with it, and there's a lot of abuse involved with it, and a lot of mystery and like secrets behind it, because the Church of Scientology has a lot of money, and anytime people like speak out against them as a church, they come after them like pretty hardcore, with, you know, like the law. It's crazy, but also with like life-threatening tactics. I don't know. It's there's a lot to it. I'm not even gonna pretend to know a lot of it. But it's pretty interesting stuff. And I'm actually planning to react to this on my channel. If y'all watch that, I'm gonna head out for a moment. Yeah, for sure. Scientology is believed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, people believe they're doing good in the world, but actually... Okay, yep. Oh, it was in the 50s. Gotcha. Did I add this? Okay. I can't believe this video has 17 million views in 1 month. That's pretty wild. All right, there's actually another video that he has 11 days ago with almost 3 million views. Man, Kane Pixels, good for you. Wow. That's incredible. But it says Backrooms informational video. These look like they're productions, though. I don't know if they're... I don't know what to expect with this. This might not be what we're looking for, but we'll try it out. The case of the person whose eyes would completely seal when they shut their eyes. What? Whose eyes would... That sounds scary. I don't know what you're talking about, but that sounds scary. I've never heard about that. What am I getting myself into? We went from discussing just songs from the 80s that we would love to know the artist of to don't blink, you'll never be able to open them again. Your eyes. He's a 16-year-old film creator, pretty impressive. That is very impressive. Is that what we're looking for, though? I feel like we're looking for something else. Backrooms explained? Okay, we're gonna watch this first. The infographics show has the Backrooms explained. Or maybe we should watch this. Damn. The entire Backrooms iceberg explained. 1.1 million views 4 months ago. See, I make an iceberg video and that doesn't get 1 million views. The best rabbit holes are the scary ones. I know, but can we... I am dreaming as a content creator to figure out a way to make content about fun, not scary rabbit holes. Rabbit holes for everybody. Can we all just go down rabbit holes on the internet and instead of being scared, we can be interested, fascinated, little spooked, but not too much spooked? Is that too much to ask? I'm trying to sleep. I lose sleep over scary videos. I still wake up in the middle of the night thinking of Hereditary. What about people who can recall almost everything that happened in their life, like even before they were 3 years old, which is when most people start keeping memories? Is that scary? What's up, Snotty? What's up, Ben? I don't get this stream. I mean, we're just chilling right now, but we're just gonna start watching some videos on YouTube of interesting internet conundrums. Life is too unfair, man, and videos of a single damn word are getting millions as well. I mean, the how to pronounce Schenectady video getting 2.2 million views makes me happy. I don't want to get it twisted. That is a well-deserved 2.2 million views. Oops. The time for me is 11:34 at night, and here I am watching rabbit holes. I mean, that's the best time to do it. What, are you gonna watch rabbit hole videos in broad daylight? Aren't really scary like that. They used to be in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I disagree. I mean, kind of. I mean, I think it all just depends. It's a case-by-case basis. Me and Bree, during the month of October, were watching some, like, classic horror movies from the 70s, and they don't hold up. Like, they're lame. Halloween, Friday the 13th, like the OG ones, are lame. I'm sorry. But again, case-by-case basis. Completely normal. We're getting pushed by the algorithm hard and got like 10 million views from that single one. Dude, me too. And what's funny is going into the comments and being like, anyone else here because the YouTube algorithm suggested it and you're really confused. Sometimes the gems of a video can be found in the comments, especially like on TikTok, not to ramble, but sometimes the comments are where it's at. What's up, Skippy? I was watching Peach Draft earlier this week. Right on. So that's how you feel during this crazy. I mean, like I said, case-by-case basis. Case-by-case basis. Pardon. Where to begin? All right, should we get into this? Y'all want to watch some shit? I hope this isn't bad. I hope that this isn't I don't know. I feel like I know other streamers do this, but I just want to like make it clear to y'all that it is like slightly uncomfortable watching videos on stream that I haven't watched ahead of time because I don't know what the content is going to be. So this isn't going to do much, but I just want to say I apologize in advance if anything in any of these videos make any of you guys uncomfortable. Yeah. There's got to be a better way to do this, but until then, I'm going to be a fool and just go into this shit blind. Okay, let me read the description of this. In August of 2000, a minute-long... Okay, I'm so bad at reading it, I might have to read this twice. In August of 2000, a minute-long audio file would be uploaded to an audio archive for emergency phone calls. To date, nobody knows the origin of Ruth Price. It's in quotes, Ruth Price. Ruth Price. Okay. Shall we? You need to play GTA? I don't wanna. GTA is not for me. Wait, hold on. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Have you ever watched The Last Shift? That's a recent Hellascape. No, I've never even heard of it. All right, I'm headed out for a bit and come back when y'all know everything about the rooms in it. Well, Martin, just a heads up. We're not going to watch... The backroom videos are at the back end. The back rooms are at the back end of this playlist. The first, like, 3 videos are not backroom related. But just letting you know. Do your thing if you need to leave. Is this stream going to get creepy? It's going to get a little creepy, I guess. It might be. I can't say in this live stream today, but I came in to say hi. What's up, Sleepy? Thanks for coming in. McSteezy, what's up? Can't wait to dive in. Let's go. Okay, let's do it. Oops. There we go. I hope it's good.
Now, a bit of an impromptu video here just to tide you over while I continue to chip away at some other projects. But that being said, this topic is probably one of the...
This is the dark side of the Spotify video, right in the center. That's the one that I was eyeing as a potential video to check out later on. If y'all are interested, let me know.
Few early internet mysteries that has still not yet been demystified. And the topic of today's video is probably one of the most infamous 911 calls on the internet. Mostly due to how downright disturbing it is.
No, I don't want to watch disturbing stuff. It's like sick to... I feel like sick to my stomach just looking at this photo of this woman. Not because she's ugly, but because I don't want to hear her saying any disturbing shit. I don't know if I want to do this. I think I might want to skip this one. I'm sorry, y'all. Why are we going down rabbit holes if I don't like disturbing shit? 5 unsolved mysteries from the early days of the internet. All right, we're gonna try that one. Oops. Nope, don't like it. Can we find... Let's do the time traveler one. Okay, this guy says he's a time traveler. Let's do it. No backing out now, right? No, we're backing out. All right, this one is about a guy that thinks that apparently is a time traveler.
The internet's always been a place where people can claim things behind empty profile pics, and there's always been a fair share of people who've come up with stories that seriously caught our attention. But then there's the ones that don't have such a concrete theory at all behind them, let alone an explanation. One in particular, seemingly so mysterious and unanswered that it was left in the shadows of the internet, nearly forgotten for 10 years. This is the perplexing case of user Willie2024, an actual time traveler on the internet.
Actual time traveler.
This is YouTube Unsolved.
Way better than something that's disturbing.
There has been no shortage of time-traveling claims, as the World Wide Web has offered basically everyone the ability to share anything with anyone else. And this leaves a result of there being almost as many clear debunkable examples as there are stories of Slender Man paying people a visit in real life. It's just one of those things that anyone would really try to put out there just to get views. But today, to say the least, we're dealing with something that's a little bit different. And it should be noted that before we get started that none of the details of this case have been verified / proven, just as much have they been not verified or disproven. No one really knows what's going on here. But it all started in 2008. What is it about 2008 already? On a nice little website called the Something Awful Forums, where a user named Willie2024 would first show himself to the public eye.
The Something Awful logo is a grenade.
Under an independent discussion board. The post was immediately met with confusion by all the rest of the users of the site on that post, and Willie themselves was not shy to engage with all of them. Their first activity was a reply under a question related to worst life experiences, and it went like this. I wouldn't say it's the same for everyone. From when I came from, speaking your mind like that is not really a thing.
From when I came from.
At first glance, it seemed like it was just some kind of continuation to just some random conversation on just a run-of-the-mill type of chat page. But someone later on finally had the urge to ask something in return to the default profile picture user a whole day later. I think you mean where you came from. And from this point on, things became just about as unexplainable as you could ever imagine anything on the internet being. Willie2024, in contrast, only took 1 hour to reply. I guess you're right, but I wasn't really referring to where. I was just mentioning how it was relatively nice to see some discourse take place on a fun and simple place like this compared to, say, 2018, for example. A decade from now as a general ballpark. More likely than not, it wouldn't be different in any location you're from. I came to this site because the particular topic attracted my attention due to my loneliness, and how the worst experience in my life involved in not me getting here, but being stuck here.
So they're saying that 2018 is this dystopian period where you're not allowed to have fun discourse? Is that what they're saying? Just saying the Somerton Man case, while an unsolvable murder case, was to me more about the mystery progress to a weird case than a scary thing. Might be a good rabbit hole. Okay, I'm down to write that down. The Somerton case. Okay. Noted. Okay.
I'm sorry, but are you saying you are from 2018? I lived through 2018, 19, 24, and 30. Not here though. However, in respectable terms, essentially the same timeline. I was simply making an example. It was at this point that more users started joining the chat as, predictably, this unexpected turn in the conversation started attracting more attention. Some people started checking Willie24's profile only to find that they had actually joined the site that day. Of course, the obvious—
Sorry, I just want to see when this video was uploaded. Oh, this was uploaded like a month ago.
response to this was that of any usual suspected troll. They played along.
I'm interested.
Nice. I've always wanted to know. Will we finally have hoverboards and flying cars in 2015? Have you met a guy named Marty McFly?
Didn't even spell it right.
Unfortunately, no to 2 of the above. There are hoverboards, but they're just glorified segways.
Fuck.
Is this guy saying he's a time traveler? That's
Wait, he's very right about that.
meta. I try to avoid running into confrontations about this matter, however tempting it is to me, mainly because I technically have a reason to be here that I don't want to get distracted from. That being said, in short, I guess you can say yes. I am, in fact, a time traveler. So a
Fuck
little
yeah,
bit more
dude.
information about the posts of Willy 2024. All of them, despite being still available to this day, were posted during a time that lots of people describe to be the peak of the Something Awful forum's existence. The era that produced the well-known myths and creepypastas such
I don't
as
want it!
Slender
I don't want
Man
it!
and the likes of which, nonetheless,
I don't want it!
people randomly going around making the kind of claims as Willy 2024 were almost non-existent during this relatively early age. Let's just say people weren't exactly dropping their new car video vlogs all the time talking about their new DeLorean and flux capacitor. So it's almost as if the very thread that birthed this mystery became a creepypasta or cold case in and of itself. And of course, it's starting in the legendarily notorious cursed/scary year of 2008. It's not like we can be surprised. But either way, that was not all Willy had to say in this follow-up. But I haven't traveled through time. I haven't traveled anywhere physically. I'm a researcher at a privately funded program called IVMRA. It started as a non-profit organization in 2024 as a research program into time-based horizon breaking.
Yo, I can't wait. 2024? They better hurry up. They got 2 years to develop this nonprofit organization, or Willy is gonna get exposed as a liar.
Mostly non-experimental until
He's a
late
family man now.
2029. I'm sorry if things get too technical, but I have a habit of over-explaining things I'm passionate about. Willy 2024 went on to explain himself in a fairly high amount of detail. In summary, they mentioned that they are a part of an organization that managed to break a hole into another dimension, but this dimension was coupled to ours. This way you could avoid fading away into oblivion by causing some kind of paradox. Okay guys, I'm going to jump in this portal now, so that I can go to a different period of time.
I like this guy.
Whoa. This is the past? I thought it would be more black and white or something. So yeah, you get the point. Willy
Did any of you guys used to watch That Zach on YouTube? This kid reminds me so much of him. Like, he not only, like... He kind of looks like him, and he also talks like him.
2024 explained that 2024 was the biggest year in physics because of it leading to a new breakthrough resulting in him assuming gender, ending up in a new universe, 20 years in the past. It wasn't exactly clear what the motive behind Willy was in particular.
I love that this
We're
is
going
such
to
a serious topic, and this guy's profile picture is a baby. Oh, wait, no, maybe that's just the default thing. I don't know. Either way.
Of course, get to all of the possibilities now, because you know what time it is. The original conversation thread Willy
up, Hunter?
2024 had started talking in had basically entirely converted into just an interview/interrogation of this one user acted out by the whole user base in hopes of just getting to the bottom of the situation. And we're gonna get back to that as soon as we start discussing for a little bit the other internet findings of Willy 2024's existence, some including YouTube. This being YouTube Unsolved after all. And when all's said and done, it seems that after reviewing all the sources that it's generally reasonable to assume that the perplexing Willy 2024 personality was active online within the time period of August 2008 to December of 2010. However, within that time, Willy 2024 was actually seen in multiple different places, and their accounts were linked to one another most of the time. Willy 2024 on Reddit, going by Willy_2024, made a profuse amount of posts talking about how money was a scam and how it was way too centralized, along with debunking another claim of time travel by a man named John Titter. And he had lots of choice words to say about it. He even dutifully described how every aspect of that account was wrong and how anyone could just be easily debunked by doing a simple carbon-14 blood test. More on that later. But amongst all of this technical gibberish, for lack of a better term, one particular post stands out. In a reply to a mod...
This guy is posting in gaming channels. A time traveler from 2024 is in the gaming subreddit.
Modern day users deleted comment, Willy 2024 responded this.
What's up, Vibe?
Better run, outrun my gun. So yeah, it is known that this was a meme board that this was posted under, but without the original post context, it's hard to come to a complete conclusion about it. But yes, those are the lyrics to the well-renowned song Pumped Up Kicks.
Yep.
Which was
Copyright.
released a whole year after this post was even made.
Shit.
Interestingly enough,
is cool.
Willy2024 had a username on YouTube by YouTube/user/Willy2024, where they could be seen often commenting physics and math related videos. And his YouTube account was linked to Reddit and Something Awful, but he never really seemed to have a habit of mentioning any of the issues in question. It was as if he was literally just a normal person living in our normal world. Except for the fact that he accurately predicted the future like 7 times in one single forum post. Which leads us right back to the one in question. And for the sake of this not ending up being like an hour-long movie, I chose the ones that I feel like are the most interesting and relevant. So here are the posts that stand out the most. So if you are being legit, why don't you just go and invest all your money into some stocks that will do good? Also, could you tell me some?
Bitcoin.
I do not have monetary goals, nor am I trying to screw up this timeline,
Hey,
even if it
thanks
doesn't
for
affect
subscribing.
me. Capital gains are a temporary measure anyway. In my timeline, the United States went into a phosphorus crisis, heavily impacting agriculture, leading to everyone relying on digital assets to hold value. This also led to the country's loss of world power. Please, just one. I'll love you. Electric vehicles.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I don't know why a person from 2030 would be on this site casually talking to us alone. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know anything about your explanation, but why, just now, and on this board, did you start talking? Did you directly come to this year? My field of study is both economics and physics, thus the year I chose. I'm currently in the process of studying how digital currency can impact a developed monetary system. In my spare time, I love talking to people as I always have. As you might tell, I have a lot of time to myself here. I just hate when it ends up like this. There's so many people that say they're from the future, bud.
Maybe a lot.
I'm not from your future, as I pointed out. People like John Titor are frauds, along with all the rest.
Who's
Transformational time travel is non-existent. One thing that they would all deny to preserve themselves would be a simple blood test for carbon-14. Nuclear tests introduce an abundance of added C14 into the atmosphere, which can trace the distinct age of any living organism on the basis of its blood. The further away from the 50s you're born, the less you have.
I didn't know that. Is that true?
So I'm guessing he really doesn't care for John Titor.
I was gonna say,
Who won
yeah,
this
drag
election,
him.
bro? Enjoy it. Everything after this will be pure chaos.
Is
I bet
he
he
wrong?
can go back and meet Albert Einstein or even Jesus, LMAO. What a legend. The current capabilities don't allow it. I would not want to live out a life in a time unfamiliar to myself anyway. IVMRA was briefly working with a different approach years before I worked there, using some of Hawking's work. But after his passing and a major setback due to a pandemic soon after... Ah! Wait, what the fuck? It's like... Am I hallucinating? Like, do I need to... I just... Like, when I see this type of stuff, it's like... Just how? We never finished it. Is anything from BTTF? Back to the Future.
Yo, that's pretty fucking trippy. What's up, Deadly? Did he die in 2018? I gotta look this shit up real quick. I gotta check my fucking sources. He died on March 14th, 2018. Ugh.
True.
Are y'all finding this interesting? I'm enjoying this video. I think this guy's doing a great job, and the subject matter is very interesting.
Yes. We definitely haven't gotten any...
Sorry, let me go back.
Is anything from BTTF? Back to the Future. True. Yes. We definitely haven't gotten any smarter. How
Okay.
if you figured out how to time travel, lol. The info was always there. It just took someone to find it.
Deep. Deep.
Well, this happened to be the very last post that Willie 2024 would ever make in this particular thread. So as you can
No!
tell, there's a lot to take away from all of this. And naturally, it most certainly has and will continue to stir up very polarizing opinions on the matter, of which I have a lot myself. The last activity of any confirmable account owned by the real Willie 2024 was a YouTube comment on December 13, 2010, on, out of anything else, the YouTube Rewind, or Year in Review, simply saying, very entertaining.
That tells me, this tells me,
Simply saying,
this tells me that that specific YouTube Rewind is significant. Because, okay, suspension of belief real quick, suspension of disbelief? Suspend yourself. And let's say he is not a time traveler. This is all performance art, right? And everything that he does within this account is part of the performance art. Like, let's just allow ourselves to be along that train of thought. So that tells me that that specific video is going to be highly significant in the future, and we just don't know it yet. It sounds silly at first, but just think about it like that.
very entertaining. So, I'm not sure what to say about that. It would have been hilarious if he had actually predicted the future of YouTube Rewind as a last statement. And after this, multiple
I mean, I think it deservedly needs to be dissected to pieces. Not by me, because I don't even know what video it is, but
attempts at trying to impersonate the real Willie 2024 started happening, most particularly in 2014, when one most notable example happened when someone decided to pretend that they were Willie 2024 and make a "I'm back" post, but it was immediately debunked because they couldn't even spell the username right. But obviously, other than this, there wasn't much talk about this mystery for a very, very long time.
That's funny.
And years started going by. It just happened to be that almost every single thing started going down the exact way this Willie guy said. Which freaks me out a little bit. Theory number 1. It's all an elaborate hoax. How? Let me tell you. In 2014, of course, some guy by the name of Tenacious brought forth what at first seemed to be completely damning evidence that Willie 24 was not only not from the future, but actually made up by one of the Something Awful forum owners in order to get attention for the site. And it certainly worked. And the screenshot seemed to show Willie 24's account being renamed back to the head moderator. So that's it. Case closed. That's all there is to it.
I mean, it still doesn't explain.
But not really. Man, how long is this video already? The picture was later proven to be entirely photoshopped in an attempt to get back at some of the moderators of the site for some reason that we don't care about. Either way, it was fake. Does that prove that Willie 2024 wasn't? Obviously not. But either way, that leads us to theory number 2. It's real. And yes, I am gonna just be making it that black and white. Deal with it. It would kind of make sense that at the very least, whoever running the Willie 2024 account wholeheartedly believed in what he was saying and just happened to be entirely coincidentally correct. It's not like this Willie guy was just going around flaunting his time traveling skills. It actually seemed that with all available evidence, he didn't even like talking about it. And if they were going to go through the trouble of making up all of these details in this crazy story just to not even feel like talking about it or actually being upset just to even talk about it to anyone, then didn't really add up that much. So what's the main takeaway here?
Yeah.
Thank God he did not say there was going to be an Among Us 2. And also that there's a guy named Willie from 2030 who comments on YouTube Rewind videos and could very well be watching this video right now. Hi, Willie? I guess we'll just have to wait until 2030 to find out. So that is the internet's...
Okay. Thoughts? I think that... Oh, what's up, Martin? You're watching the... we watched Willie 2024, the internet's resident time traveler. We haven't gotten into Backrooms yet, by the way. that was gonna be later on in the playlist. Oh, that is his name. The Tekkit Realm. Let me check out. Does he have other? Do you have any other videos that you would recommend of his? I liked it. I really liked that content. It looks like his shtick is rickrolling people. It's a great idea. I rickrolled the entire Super Bowl? No way. No way. I'm interested, though. Damn, he's posting a lot. I'm so jealous of people that can churn out content like this so fast. Among Us 2. What are we watching? 2018 and the pandemic line. That line so shook. Yeah, that's my thing is like, regardless of who it was, how do you explain that? Even if they're not a time traveler, even if they are a time traveler. But, I mean, even though they're not a time traveler, how do you explain that? Crazy thing. I haven't spoken about this. I haven't talked about it in a while because I always forget about it happening. But I had the honor of being contacted by a time traveler on my YouTube channel back when YouTube had messages. And we developed a rapport. And he sent me a lot of information. I'll have to share it with you guys one day. He sent me like a lot of stuff. Almost none of it came true. But I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I have screenshots of it in a hard drive somewhere. Which I'm really glad that I did because there's no way that I could have known back then that YouTube would remove messages. God, what a travesty. I bet I have some really fun conversations with other YouTubers. But yeah, this guy hit me up on my second channel. And I'm trying to remember what his username was. I remember he said I remember he said I could call him Oliver. God, this is so funny to say out loud. But he hit me up and he sent me over a bunch of like PDFs of like the timeline of everything. And he did give me the disclaimer that like things could be subject to change, but they're all going to happen. It's just a question of like when. Could happen like years down the line, or it could happen according to this timeline. I don't know, but it was fun. It was fun conversating with someone that said they were a time traveler. I wonder what they're up to now. He does a lot of rickrolling stuff, not too much rabbit hole stuff though. I like the rabbit hole stuff. I'll check out the rickroll stuff later on though. I'm curious to see. I rickrolled the entire Super Bowl. What's the deal with that? Joe, you're so close to hitting 1K subscribers. Kind of. I thought half of the stuff he predicted were plausible predictions, but I will give credit to some of the stuff being weirdly correct. I'm skeptical by nature, but I am intrigued. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's fair. Same guy said Queen Elizabeth would die in February 2022. Oh shit. Are you sure? Wait, where are you seeing that? In this day of the internet, isn't it easy for people to dig into stuff like this and debunk it? Debunk stuff like proving that Willie 2024 is not a time traveler? Russian dude, don't send links, please. Oh, yeah. I think that's a bot. Thanks for covering that, RS. Gotta watch to find out. Yeah, for sure. Of the YouTube channel from the moon? That sounds kind of fun. I like this guy's stuff. I feel like watching another one. Let me try to find a good one. What the actual heck was the note video? Wait, I bet he has playlists for this. Yeah, YouTube Unsolved. That's a good series name. All of these sound scary. I don't know, maybe the note one sounds kind of fun. You should look up what will happen to England when Queen Elizabeth dies. Oh, that's interesting. Talking about subs, are your subs growing after the shorts and TikToks and everything, or still dipping a bit? I think it's gone up a little bit. But nothing crazy. I think that it's not even really anything that I gotta be honest, like I keep tabs of my channel metrics quite a bit, but the subscription stuff, it doesn't really, I don't really keep track of it all that much. I'm more interested in views and watch time and click-through rate. And I feel like if I can get those things in a good spot, then the rest will be taken care of. But yeah, it's kind of averaging out. The funny thing is every time I go live, I'll usually lose like a net of like 12 or 14 subscribers. And because I go live so much, I think that it kind of averages it out. So I even if I was gaining followers from TikTok, it's nothing anything. It's only canceling out the subscribers that I'm losing, which is fine. I am very okay with that. We can pretty much find anyone who actually exists on the internet in some form, right? A lot of things are public record. I don't know. I think that there's a... I agree with you that in principle that makes sense. And then the fact that there are some cases where we can't figure out these things, that's what makes it so fascinating. That's what makes it worth exploring. Let me see what else I got. Ugh, all I have left is backroom stuff. Can't we do fun rabbit holes? Let me, and now my YouTube homepage is covered in scary shit. What was his name? Does Wang have any good, rabbit hole videos that are not scary? Oh, God. What was the other thing that we were going to talk about? The search for DB Cooper? Okay, let's do that. I'm down to check this out. This has 12 million views, and it's been a year that it's posted. So that tells me that the video is probably good. I don't really like carrots, but I'll still like the video. I 100% agree with you. Views are the important thing. Don't know which though. Okay. I'm down to check out this search for DB Cooper. But yeah, just to finish that thought, Martin, I don't know. I guess I did finish that thought. I don't know. I'm just not keeping track too much of subs, but I think that the thing that I've been focusing on is just like consistency on TikTok and figuring that out. And I think that if I can get a good thing going on TikTok, and then I can figure out a way to pair my content up on YouTube to match the vibe of TikTok, then the subscribers will come. But I'm also not in any rush. Because one thing that I'm learning about videos doing exceptionally well on TikTok is that it brings out people that are just kind of like toxic as hell. And I don't know. I like the crew that we have here. I'd rather chill with you guys. All right, here we go.
daring parachute escape from a flying 727 somewhere between wings.
A search was made of the plane immediately. We don't know who he was, where he came from, or where he went. I expect that we'll keep looking until we find him or find out what happened.
All my friends are toxic. Do y'all know about DB Cooper? I have a theory about DB Cooper. I think he just got, like, eaten by a grizzly bear. I think that he probably landed in a deserted forest, died of starvation, and then got eaten by an animal. That's just my take.
In the afternoon of November the 24th, 1971, a middle-aged man carrying a briefcase walked into Portland International Airport and purchased a one-way ticket to Seattle, Washington. The man identified himself as Dan Cooper, and along with 36 other passengers and a crew of 6, he soon boarded Northwest Airlines Flight 305. Once aboard, Cooper made himself comfortable in the middle of the last row of seats on the right side of the cabin. He ordered a drink and had a smoke, because this was the 70s. Once the flight was cleared for departure, Cooper turned around and handed an envelope to flight attendant Florence Schaffner. Inside the envelope was a note featuring a handwritten message stating he had a bomb. Schaffner reluctantly sat down beside him and glimpsed what appeared to be 8 sticks of dynamite inside his briefcase.
Okay, he
Cooper's
had a bomb.
demands were quite simple. He wanted $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. He also demanded a fuel truck to stand ready to refuel the aircraft once they landed in Seattle. Should they fail to comply with his demands, he threatened to, quote, do the job. Once the flight was airborne, Schaffner went to inform the cockpit crew, while another flight attendant by the name of Tina Mucklow remained by Cooper's side. By using a telephone in the rear of the cabin, Mucklow acted as an intermediary between Cooper and the rest of the flight crew for the remainder of the hijacking. For the next hour and a half, Flight 305 maintained a holding pattern near Seattle, while local and federal authorities scrambled to procure the ransom as well as the 4 parachutes. 10,000 $20 bills were collected from a local bank, while the owner of a nearby skydiving school supplied the chutes. At 5:45 p.m., more than 2 hours past its scheduled arrival, Flight 305 finally touched down in Seattle. By this point, it was well after sunset, and the aircraft was brought to a remote section of the tarmac. Once the flight came to a stop, both the ransom and the parachutes were handed over to Mucklow, who then brought them back aboard. In exchange, Cooper permitted 2 of the flight attendants, as well as all the
I can't believe that they like followed through with this. I feel like, is that something that would happen today? Like in the year 2022, if someone went through this exact process to get a ransom, I feel like there would be like hostage negotiation, or like you know what I mean? I feel like there would be like experts here to like they wouldn't give them the money or a parachute.
Passengers to disembark, many of whom had not yet realized the flight had been hijacked. With the ransom paid and only 4 crew members remaining on board, Cooper told Mucklow to inform the captain that he wanted to fly to Mexico City.
Jesus.
They were to fly with the landing gear down, the flaps at 15 degrees and below 10,000 feet. The lights in the cabin were to be switched off, and the aft stairway, which opens from the underbelly of the fuselage, was to remain extended.
How is this guy doing this? This video is incredible.
2 of Cooper's demands could not be satisfied. First of all, the flight configuration he'd requested would not allow for a non-stop flight to Mexico City. As such, Cooper proposed a refueling stop in Phoenix, Yuma, or Sacramento before they all agreed on Reno, Nevada. Second of all, it was not possible to depart with the ventral staircase extended. Cooper agreed to retract the stairs on the condition that Mucklow remained by his side and taught him how to extend them once the plane was airborne. Parked for nearly 2 hours due to complications with refueling, Flight 305 was back in the air by 7:36 p.m. Less than 5 minutes after takeoff, Cooper told Mucklow to head for the cockpit and that from this point onwards, he was not to be disturbed. The last time she saw Cooper, he was standing in the middle of the aisle as if though he was preparing to jump.
Holy shit.
Mucklow joined the rest of the crew, locked the cockpit door behind her, and some 3 hours later, Flight 305 safely landed in Reno. Once the flight came to a stop, the crew carefully ventured into the rear of the cabin, but there was no sign of Cooper nor the bomb. The aft stairway had been extended mid-flight and was slightly damaged upon landing. It seemed there was only one explanation for the hijacker's absence. At some point between Seattle and Reno, Cooper had strapped on a parachute, walked down the stairs, and leaped into the dark of night.
Yo, I didn't even know that no one saw him jump. My knowledge of this is so wrong. I thought that this had all happened in one plane ride, and I thought that it had passengers on it when he jumped and that people saw him jump. This makes a lot more sense as far as like why no one has ever found him, because they don't even know when he jumped. He could be like, there's an entire like state of California basically, or no, from Oregon to Reno. Yeah, I mean, they still had to go over basically 3 separate states. Wow.
As soon as it became clear that Cooper was no longer on board, dozens of FBI agents converged upon the aircraft, only to discover a disappointing amount of physical evidence.
Damn.
A black clip-on tie, 8 cigarette butts, and 2 of the 4 parachutes were all that Cooper left behind. Evidently, he'd brought the ransom and briefcase along with him. In interviews conducted on the night of the hijacking, Cooper was described by the crew and passengers as a white male with brown eyes and dark hair. He appeared to be in his mid-40s and wore a dark trench coat, a dark suit, a white shirt, a black tie, and dark shoes. Soon after boarding, he'd also donned a pair of sunglasses. Based on this description, the FBI produced the first of several composite sketches. Before they could mount a search, however, the FBI had to figure out when Cooper abandoned ship.
Yeah.
But that was easier said than done. None of the 4 crew members witnessed Cooper jumping from the plane, nor did the pilots of 2.
Yo, that sounds cool. The U.S. most cryptic unsolved mystery. Is it... It sounds cool. Is it, like, disturbing, though? That we're just not doing any, like, disturbing content tonight. I know that's a big part of the rabbit hole world, but we're just trying to avoid that entirely.
Fighter jets which escorted the flight between Seattle
you have
and
me
Reno,
interested.
which is not all too surprising given it was the middle of the night.
And I like Lazy Masquerade.
Although the flight crew
checked
did
out a few of
report
his
something
stuff.
odd. The last communication with the hijacker occurred at approximately 8:05 p.m. when the crew used the intercom to offer assistance, which Cooper declined. Within the next 10 minutes, the crew experienced what they described as an oscillation or vibration of the aircraft.
DB Cooper is Willie 2024. I'll leave you with that.
At the time, the crew suspected it might have been produced by Cooper's jump, and a subsequent recreation of the hijacking supported that conclusion. Okay, so that took care of the when, but what about the where? While Cooper was very explicit about the flight's configuration and destination, he never specified any kind of route. In fact, Cooper grew so impatient with the slow refueling in Seattle that he dismissed the captain's request to file a flight plan and simply told him to, quote, get the show on the road. As such, the captain chose to fly along an airway known as Victor 23 without any input from Cooper. By using Victor 23 as a guide, authorities estimated the most probable location of the flight at the approximated time of the jump was about 40 kilometers north of Portland. And so, at the break of dawn, the FBI mounted an impressive search operation using helicopters, airplanes, and ground troops. The problem was, even if the estimated bailout point was accurate, Cooper's eventual landing or drop zone was far more difficult to pinpoint. The loosely defined search area covered a vast stretch of mountainous wilderness occluded by a dense forest, so it was truly like finding a needle in a haystack.
Truly.
Apart from the difficult terrain, the search was further complicated by low temperatures and inclement weather, which persisted for days. Despite their best efforts, authorities never managed to find a single trace of Cooper, nor the items he'd brought along with him.
Damn, I think it's like very, you know, I used to think that, so when we started this video, I said that I think he felt like he got dropped into a dense forest, never found his way out, starved to death, and then got eaten by an animal. I actually change my mind. Just from the first 8 minutes of this video, I think it's very possible he got away with it. The fact that they don't know when he jumped on this like 3-hour plane ride is crazy.
Having made little to no progress by
right
early
on. I think I'm down
December,
to check
the
that out,
FBI
man.
turned their attention to the $200,000 ransom. The money had been collected from the Seattle First National Bank, which maintained a ransom package of $250,000
What movie you
just for
watching?
such an occasion. Because of this, the serial numbers of the $10,020 banknotes given to Cooper had been documented in advance, a complete list of which were quickly made available to financial institutions, government agencies, and the general public. The intention was to make it as difficult as possible for Cooper to spend his money. Northwest Airlines and several newspapers even began to offer rewards to anyone who could find a note with a matching serial number. In spite of these efforts, no one ever did.
Yeah, because nobody ever
That is
looks
until
at...
nearly
Oh.
a decade later.
Oh shit, they
In
found...
early 1980, a young boy named Brian Ingram was building a campfire on a small beach in southern Washington. As he was digging into the sand, Ingram discovered 3 bundles of cash totaling $5,880. Having heard about the infamous skyjacking, Ingram's parents brought the severely degraded bundles to the FBI. The notes were promptly inspected, and sure enough, the serial numbers matched those of the ransom.
Holy shit.
Once the excitement subsided, however, the money managed to raise far more questions than it answered, the most significant of which was how? How did the money end up so far away from the drop zone?
Pretty easily, in my
Looking
opinion. That's
at
not that
this
far.
map, it might be tempting to think that Cooper simply dropped some of the money, which then fell into the Lewis River. The bundles could then have been carried further downstream by the Columbia River before finally being washed ashore at Tina Bar, which is the name of the beach. Tina Mucklow, Tina Bar. Coincidence? Yeah, coincidence. Anyway, the problem with this idea is that the Columbia
What?
River is Tina Bar, which is the name of the beach. Tina Mucklow, Tina Bar.
Is Tina Mucklow one of the flight attendants? Is that right?
Coincidence? Yeah, coincidence. Anyway, the problem with this idea is that the Columbia River
Hey, they're
flows
having a
in
good
the
time.
opposite direction. This has led
Can you
some,
not have it?
including members of the FBI, to re-evaluate the initial drop zone assessment.
Yeah,
For
you should
instance, if the drop
reevaluate
zone
that.
was much further southeast, close to a river called the Washougal River, it is conceivable, albeit improbable, that the money floated all the way down to Tina Bar. Alternatively, the bundles may have simply landed on the beach if the flight path was further to the west. Even so, natural explanations struggle to explain how 3 independent, potentially free-falling and/or free-floating bundles of cash ended up at the exact same place on the same beach. To complicate matters, sediment from the riverbed was excavated and dumped onto Tina Bar as part of a dredging operation in 1974. And according to one analysis, the money was discovered above this layer of sediment. If true, that would mean the money came to rest at Tina Bar sometime after
God,
1974.
this is wild.
But a re-examination of that analysis found that what was believed to be a layer of deposited sediment might actually have been a perfectly natural layer of clay. Not only that,
up,
but
Brandon?
the sediment was clearly dumped some distance away from where the money was discovered. Furthermore, when Ingram discovered the bundles, the rubber bands which held them together were still intact. This is significant because experiments conducted in 2009 revealed that this brand of rubber bands could not withstand exposure to open air or water
They're
for
thinking
more
of
than a
everything.
year. So, unless the bundles were somehow protected from the elements, they must have become buried at Tina Bar within a year of the hijacking. The most probable explanation, therefore, seems to be that Cooper or someone else deliberately buried the money. Did Cooper survive and bury the money himself? Did someone else bury the money after stumbling upon Cooper's remains? If there is an explanation which does not require human intervention, it's managed to elude investigators for decades. Suffice it to say, this is a mystery within a mystery. Since Ingram's discovery in 1980, both Tina Bar and the grounds around the Washougal River have been subjected to numerous searches, but to date, there's been no sign of Cooper nor the rest of the money.
It's kind of a fucking miracle that they found any of the money at all. What's up, Bella? We're just watching interesting YouTube videos. YouTube videos about just like mysteries and stuff. Dude, I do that all the time. I can still to this day recognize iMovie tracks from like 2010. Oops. I hear that shit in commercials sometimes, like commercials on TV. I'm like, you guys don't have the budget for anything besides iTunes, like iMovie
From
music?
the very beginning, it was assumed
And then, of course, Kevin MacLeod. Incompetech.com. Come on.
by many that Cooper did not survive his daring escape. It would not make for a very thrilling conclusion to this story, but that's the thing about stories, they're usually far more exciting than reality. While there is no hard evidence for nor against Cooper's survival, the assumption that he fell to his death is not without merit. When Cooper leaped into the darkness, Flight 305 was plowing through a frigid rainstorm at roughly 170 knots, 10,000 feet above southern Washington.
Wow.
The wind was so violent that it ripped out a placard from the aft stairway, which was later recovered in 1978 almost directly below the estimated flight path. To say that Cooper was not dressed for the occasion would be an understatement.
Yeah.
The ground beneath him, meanwhile, was obscured by multiple layers of clouds, which likely means that Cooper jumped without knowing his precise location. Even if he could see the ground and had a specific drop zone in mind, the parachute he selected was non-steerable, meaning he would not have been able to steer his descent towards a specific landing spot,
Can y'all hear me
thus
crunching?
precluding any potential
I
coordination
can stop.
with an accomplice stationed on the ground. While Cooper expressed some familiarity with parachutes, his actual competence level is up for debate. It's widely believed that Cooper demanded 2 pairs of parachutes, 2 primary and 2 reserve, to make the authorities believe that he intended to take a hostage. That is precisely what happened, as the FBI contemplated but eventually decided against sabotaging the chutes, as they did not want to risk the life of an innocent civilian.
Oh my
But
God.
in their haste to obtain them, they unintentionally provided Cooper with a non-functional dummy chute intended for training purposes. This mishap seems to have gone unnoticed by Cooper because that dummy chute was one of the 2 missing from the plane.
Holy
Not
shit.
only that, but Cooper chose the older and technically inferior parachute out of the 2 primary chutes provided. So in both cases, it seems like Cooper made the worst possible choice. But
What the fuck is going on? What's up, this guy? What's up, Poncho? No, we can't eat all you want. Okay, cool. What's up, Majed? I am learning so much. And what my thought is like maybe that money, because it was so windy, is it not possible that some of the money like flew out while he was jumping out, like after he jumped out of the plane, and it just kind of like fell and got scattered like by the wind all over the place, and that explains why some of it landed at the Tina bar.
But there are other ways to interpret this information. For instance, it's possible that Cooper used the dummy chute not as a reserve, but as a means to secure the bag of money. In fact, that is precisely what Cooper tried to do with the functional reserve chute. First, he tried to place the money in the chute's canopy before removing some of the suspension lines and wrap them around the bag. Perhaps he used the dummy chute for a similar purpose. And Cooper's decision to use the older primary chute is not necessarily an indication of inexperience. It could also be a sign of familiarity, because the chute he left behind was a civilian luxury chute, while the one he used was a military chute. The argument is that Cooper might have been trained as, say, a paratrooper, and chose the older military chute because that's the one with which he was most familiar.
Sorry for pausing all the time, but I was thinking about this and how like it really does seem like he thought of everything, because I was confused why he asked for so many parachutes, but that explanation of like by asking for several parachutes, it implies that he's going to take hostages and basically force them to jump out of the plane with him. That makes so much sense.
And there is at least one other reason to suspect that Cooper had a military background. While the flight was in a holding pattern near Seattle, Cooper mentioned that the McCord Air Force Base was only 20 minutes away from the Seattle-Tacoma airport. At the time, that was an accurate assessment and might suggest a military background.
Yep.
Apart from the potential military connections, Cooper may even have had links to the Central Intelligence Agency. You see, the type of aircraft which Cooper chose to hijack, a Boeing 727, was also used by the CIA to covertly drop agents and supplies during the Vietnam War. a task for which the Boeing 727 was uniquely qualified due to its distinctive aft stairway. So it's fairly safe to assume that Cooper chose to hijack a Boeing 727 specifically because it provided a relatively safe means of escape. Whether he learned of this from the CIA or came to that conclusion independently is another question. However, the fact that Cooper chose to hijack a flight operated by Northwest Airlines was apparently random chance. When Tina Mucklow asked Cooper about his motives, he responded, "It's not because I have a grudge towards your airline, it's just because I have a grudge." He further clarified that Flight 305 just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Even so, it's clear that Cooper came prepared. He seemed to know a great deal about aircraft and aviation, he appeared to be familiar with the local terrain, he maintained a low profile to avoid a panic, he covered his eyes with a pair of glasses to conceal his identity, he left very little evidence behind, and he demanded 4 parachutes to force the assumption that he was taking a hostage.
Jason, you know something we don't? That my father not used when he was in the Vietnam War. Wait. Ashley, do you have something to tell us?
He was even cunning enough to reclaim the note which he'd initially given to Florence Schaffner. Apart from the name he wrote on his plane ticket, there are no other samples of Cooper Schaffner. He was even cunning enough to reclaim the note which he'd initially given to Florence Schaffner. Apart from the name he wrote on his plane ticket, there are no other samples of Cooper's handwriting. But for all his planning and cunning, it seems Cooper did not give enough thought to his eventual escape. Not only did he fail to specify a route, but he was forced to make a last-minute destination change from Mexico City to Reno. He could have demanded more appropriate parachuting equipment like a pair of boots, a helmet, or jumpsuit. He could even have specified the ransom to be delivered in larger denominations to make it lighter and less cumbersome to carry. Presuming he did survive the fall and made it safely to the ground, he may then have had to make his way through a dense, partially snow-covered forest in nothing but loafers and a trench coat in late November. I get the distinct impression that Cooper's escape was much more of a leap of faith than a carefully executed jump. On the other hand, authorities never received a missing persons report matching the description of Cooper in the wake of the hijacking.
Wow.
This might suggest that Cooper did survive and that he swiftly and quietly resumed his normal routine.
That's
Furthermore,
amazing.
other hijackers have performed similar stunts, and many of them did survive even if they were quickly apprehended. Finally, the simplest explanation for how 3 bundles of cash ended up at Tina Bar is human intervention. At the end of the day, most of this is based on nothing but supposition. Without any concrete evidence of Cooper's demise, it leaves the door wide open to the far more exciting proposition that he did, in fact, survive.
This video rocks.
By the time the press got wind
gotta
of the
subscribe.
hijacking, the FBI had already begun to investigate a few potential suspects. Among them was a man in Portland with initials DB and surname Cooper. This Cooper was quickly eliminated
Totally,
as a
Mark.
suspect, but due to a mix-up by the press, the name Dan Cooper was confused for DB Cooper, and the rest is history.
Wow.
While Dan Cooper is most likely a pseudonym, there is a comic book series of the same name. The comic is written in French and centers around a Canadian pilot named Dan Cooper.
This
While the comic was
guy-
not translated into English nor sold in the United States before 1971, it was available in Canada, which has a large French-speaking population. Given that American and Canadian accents can be difficult to distinguish, it's possible that Cooper, who was described as having no discernible accent, was a bilingual Canadian. This might even be supported by something that Cooper might have said. You see, when the captain relayed Cooper's demands to air traffic control, he used the phrase negotiable American currency. It seems doubtful that an American citizen would specify American currency, so
Totally.
perhaps Cooper was not American. The problem is, we don't know if this is a direct quote from Cooper or paraphrasing by the captain. For instance, notes taken by the crew during the hijacking merely contain the phrase negotiable currency, while testimonies provided by the crew after the hijacking include phrases like $200,000 in cash and circulated US currency. So Cooper might have been Canadian, and he might have taken his name from the Dan Cooper comics, just as he might have been American and might have taken his name from something or someone else. Nearly half a century has gone by since the hijacking took place, and in that time, thousands of suspects have been questioned and investigated.
Thousands?
It would obviously be impossible to cover all of them here, but let's take a look at some of the people that at some point or another have been suspected of being D.B. Cooper. Robert Rackstraw first became a suspect in 1978,
Robert,
and on the surface, he seems like a solid candidate. He was a decorated Army paratrooper and helicopter pilot. He had experience with explosives. He had an extensive criminal record. He had an uncle named John Cooper who was an avid skydiver. He was expelled from the Army only months before the hijacking, which might suggest a motive. After all, the hijacker did say he had a grudge.
It's him.
When confronted by journalists and private investigators, Rackstraw would neither confirm nor outright deny that he was D.B. Cooper. Instead, he'd say
It's him.
things like, "I could have been," or "I would not discount myself."
It's him.
On the other hand, Rackstraw had light-colored eyes, which Cooper did not. More significantly, Rackstraw was only 28 years of age at the time of the hijacking. This is well outside the range of ages reported by the crew and passengers, most of whom believed Cooper was in his mid-40s.
Bro, people sometimes, before I had my beard, before I grew the Joe beard, people thought I was like fucking 13 when I was 20. Age, people don't look like their age sometimes. It's just a fact.
Kenneth Christensen first became a suspect in 2003 when his brother noticed certain parallels between him and Cooper.
Damn, his brother.
Christensen had briefly served as a paratrooper in World War II, and since 1953 he'd worked for Northwest Airlines as both a mechanic and a flight attendant. He was 45 years old at the time of the hijacking. He was left-handed, which Cooper might have been. For instance, Cooper used his left hand to interact with his briefcase, and the clip-on tie he left on board was affixed with a tie clasp applied from the left. Shortly before he died in 1994, Christensen had supposedly told his brother, "There is something you should know, but I cannot tell you." After his passing, his family discovered over $200,000 in his bank accounts.
It's him.
To top it all off, Florence Schaffner stated that photographs of Christensen bore a strong resemblance to Cooper.
Him.
On the other hand, Christensen did not match the physical description of Cooper. He was both shorter and lighter. While Schaffner did see a strong resemblance, she remarked that Cooper had more hair, and that is supported by the composite sketches. And there was nothing suspicious about the large sums of money which he'd simply earned by selling land.
Fair.
Richard McCoy first became a suspect in 1972 when he hijacked a Boeing 727 and escaped via the aft stairway, much like D.B. Cooper. Because of the significant overlap between the two hijackings, some believe they must have been committed by the same person. McCoy used a fake name, he used a fake hand grenade to threaten the crew, he used handwritten notes to issue his demands.
It's him.
Both McCoy and Cooper used the phrase "no funny stuff" as a warning to the crew.
It's him.
McCoy demanded $500,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. McCoy also bailed out the back of the plane once they passed over his hometown in the state of Utah.
Him.
Apart from the similar modus operandi, McCoy had also served in the Vietnam War as a demolitions expert and a helicopter pilot.
Penelope, thank you for
McCoy
subscribing.
did actually survive the fall and managed to evade authorities for 2 full days before he was apprehended and sentenced to 45 years in prison.
We got him.
Before his death in 1974, McCoy refused to confirm or deny that he was D.B. Cooper.
It's him.
On the other hand, McCoy was an avid recreational skydiver and even came prepared with a skydiving helmet and jumpsuit. He gave very specific instructions about the flight path. In addition to the fake hand grenade, McCoy also used an unloaded handgun to threaten the crew. He failed to retrieve one of the notes he'd given to a flight attendant. He was only 29 years of age at the time of the hijacking, and all 3 flight attendants were quite certain that McCoy was not Cooper.
How would they know?
While there are meaningful parallels between these 2 cases, McCoy might simply have been a copycat who'd read about D.B. Cooper in the news.
Why does this video,
Dwayne Webb-
why do they still refer to him as D.B. Cooper when in the video itself he mentions that D.B. Cooper was like a flub from the media? I don't know.
First became a suspect in 1995 when, shortly before his death, he supposedly told his wife, "I've got a secret to tell you. I am Dan Cooper." Following his deathbed confession, Webber's widow recalled a number of fascinating details. She claims to have found a bank bag resembling the one used in the hijacking. She claims Weber had sustained a knee injury after jumping out of a plane. Weber supposedly had a nightmare about leaving his fingerprints on the aft stairs. And a year before the money was discovered at Tina Bar, Weber had allegedly paid a quick visit to the same location. In addition, Weber was a World War II veteran, he had an extensive criminal record, he'd matched the physical description, and he was 47 years old in 1971.
It's him!
On the other hand, Weber's fingerprints did not match any of the prints collected from Flight 305. Although, to be fair, there's no way to know if any of those prints actually belonged to Cooper. Furthermore, Weber's DNA did not match a DNA sample collected from the tie clasp. But once again, there's no way to know if the DNA on the tie clasp actually came from the hijacker and not someone else.
Because it's him.
What's so frustrating is that the FBI likely had a much better source of DNA at one point. If you recall, 8 cigarette butts were collected from the scene, and there's a good chance they were all suffused with Cooper's DNA. The problem is, that evidence was lost at some point, and has not turned up since.
What the fuck? Get your shit
William
together!
Smith first became a suspect in 2018. Smith served in the Navy during World War II and likely had some experience with parachuting. He was 43 years old at the time of the hijacking. He had dark brown eyes. He matched the physical description. He shared a certain likeness with the composite sketches, especially this speculative sketch of an older D.B. Cooper. A student named Ira Daniel Cooper, who was killed in World War II, attended the same high school as Smith. Smith worked as a yardmaster for a railroad company for most of his life, but in 1970 the company filed for bankruptcy. As a consequence, Smith lost his pension, which might suggest a motive.
It's him!
He could, for instance, have developed a grudge towards the airline industry for their role in bringing about the downfall of the rail transportation industry.
Yep.
It's further speculated that Smith...
Wait, pause. I love that someone in his position would hold a grudge for another industry developing a product superior to the one that you're in. It's like someone that owns a VHS company holding a grudge on the DVD industry. Like, bro, I mean, you can't hate on them. They just beat you. I don't know. You got to work with the times, you know?
Could have used his knowledge of railroad networks to hop on a train and escape undetected. On the other hand, Smith spent his entire life in the northeastern United States. Given that the hijacking occurred on the other side of the country and was committed by someone who at least appeared to be familiar with the local terrain, Smith is not the most ideal candidate.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, of all of the people that they've shown so far, I think he is the least likely to be the person.
The fact that Smith worked as a yardmaster is interesting. You see, the tie that Cooper left behind was recently examined using an electron microscope, which uncovered various metallic particles. Some of these particles, especially pure titanium, were quite rare in 1971. This might suggest that Cooper worked as a manager at some sort of chemical or metallurgical facility. Or possibly a rail yard.
It's him. Change my mind. It's him. It's him.
If nothing else, I hope this limited selection of suspects illustrates just how difficult it is to be certain when you have so little.
All right. Anyone have any thoughts? I think, kidding aside, the person that it's most likely to be, I think it's this guy. I think it's the fourth one. I forgot his name, but this sounds so like he looks like the description, and basically everything that they said, down to the fact that he said to his wife, "I got to tell you something. I'm DB Cooper. It's me." That's something one would say on their deathbed if they were DB Cooper. And also the paranoia element of it is very interesting. You'd say the last one, they all work together. Yo! You just hit me with something crazy. That's a crazy concept. I feel like that should be a legit theory, because it does seem like something that one person, it sounds really difficult to think that one person could have orchestrated this. And I also think that my brain immediately goes to what happens after he jumps out of the plane, wherever he lands? What if he had assistance from there? You know? I think it's either just this guy or fucking all of them. Second or fifth. So this guy or this guy. I'd say the last one, it's definitely him. They're the DB Coopers. The only thing the fifth doesn't have is that he is from the Northeast, but that's exactly what someone would do if they didn't want to get caught, go to the exact opposite part of the country, for sure. But then the question becomes, how did he know the local terrain so well? And it's because of the other people.
Little evidence to work with. These 5 individuals look nothing alike, yet any one of them could be DB Cooper. Was Cooper really in his mid-40s, or did he simply look old for his age? Did Cooper really serve in the military? Which one of these sketches
He got a
most
really
closely
tiny nose. He got a
resembled
Mike
Cooper?
Pence nose.
In 2016, the FBI had to admit defeat and officially close down the case.
Wow.
Unless someone stumbles upon Cooper's remains or manages to track down the rest of the money, it seems there is little hope of resolution.
What a flex, though.
Did Cooper survive?
You beat the
I
FBI.
have no idea. But as long as that possibility cannot be dismissed, the legend of DB Cooper will no doubt persist.
Incredible. Well done video. Clap it up. I'll drop the link in here just so I can make sure that I give proper credit. Well done. He got a big forehead too. Am I a suspect? This is the forehead of a killer. I would be down to watch another one of these, to be honest. That was so well done. This sounds good. The unknowns, mystifying UFO cases. Okay, does anyone have any familiarity? I'm going to zoom in real quick, because this is his top video, and it's called, and it has something, and the title of it is Internet Mystery. So, has anyone seen this? I would love to get confirmation on whether or not this would be, if this would work for our stream. I would be down for either one of these, actually. Not Five Nights at Freddy's. We just watched the DB Cooper thing. The Illuminati one sounds pretty interesting. Honestly, I'd be down to watch any of these. Or all of them. This channel has won me over. Can anyone, if we've never heard of this, if anyone feels inclined to do this, would anyone want to do a quick Google search on this phrase and see if this would be, whether it'd be disturbing or not? Okay. I can't keep it. Wait, hold on. Some are all had to work together. That was the last genius thing they did. Technically, none of them are lying about being DB Cooper. Yeah, I agree. It's almost kind of like a Banksy situation where I think it's probably a group of people. You kind of rocked my world by saying that a little bit, because I think that it just makes so much. Yeah, like one person did this whole thing, but then the big mystery is, what if there's more than one of them that went along with this? I don't know. I built a parachute in my skin and flew right to Hawaii and had an amazing vacation. Just flew that. You paraglide. You pulled some Zelda shit. Just paraglided to another island. Some of the evidence that ties to Cooper's place of living might be coincidentally wrong info that drove the investigators to the wrong suspect. For sure. I like the flight one. I remember watching that as well. Have it mixed up with others, though. Okay, I'm down to watch the flight one, then. Let's watch the flight one, and is a nickname given to an alleged anonymous organization that posted 3 sets of puzzles online from 2012 to 2014. That's pretty interesting. I am down to watch the flight video, and then maybe we can give this other one a go. Y'all want to do that? What's up, Peppery? Actually, give me 1 sec. Let me just check some shit out. The Cooper Fives. The flight one is my favorite. Not gonna lie. Let's do it. I'm excited. Giving me puzzle OA vibes. Ooh, okay. You know what's so interesting about my OA video? It's every time it gets like, it's been trending a couple times in the last couple weeks on Twitter, and every time it gives my video a little bit of a spike. And most recently, someone reposted it on the OA subreddit. I guess because they didn't see when I posted it the first time, which totally makes sense. But that gave it another bit of life too. Like I would say, like a couple hundred views came from that. But what I'm worried about is there's already a little bit of. I think that there's obviously, like, with the fan base, there are people that absolutely love the OA, but at the same time don't believe that it's coming back, and I think that that's a very, very legitimate. In fact, I think that's more fair to believe it's not coming back. I think my fear is I'm now annoying people in the fan base because they've been hearing these conspiracy theories about the fake cancellation for over 2 years now. And then I now come into the fold, drop a new video, re-energizing a lot of people, and now they're seeing my video pop up. I think this is now the second or third time someone else has reposted it in that subreddit. And so I feel like I'm annoying people. But I know it's not my fault. And I know that, like, more than anything, it's I see more love for that video from the fan base than hate. But yeah, I just think it's funny because I think that's a fair thing, because I think you can easily just be a part of the community. I think that you can easily. I think it's very fair to be a big fan of the OA and want to be a part of the OA subreddit so that you can discuss your favorite show, but don't want to discuss the fake cancellation. I think that's very, very fair. Either way, whatever. Maybe you should get bald. Why? Because my receding hairline. Yeah, I still got time. I could cherish this thing for a little while longer before I gotta go all out. It's honestly such a great video. I really hope that it returns. Me too, man. Me too. My biggest hope, though, and I was talking to my buddy who was the one that introduced me to the OA. We were talking about it yesterday. I would love to get confirmation one day, and I don't think I ever will. I would love to get confirmation one day on whether or not Zal and Britt have seen my video. Just give me a little wink. Just give me a little. We saw it. You don't got to tell me one way or another whether it's right or wrong. You don't. Just let me know you saw it. Let me know. I don't think they ever will. Because because the performance art requires them to stay silent, you know? Whenever I see unsolvable cases that have so many details and yet never found the culprit, I just think that at some point the info they got led to the wrong directions. I mean, yeah. What's up, Cassie? JP Bling. Thank you, man. How you doing tonight? You worked hard on that video. Rejoice in the glory of your art. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not. I don't get like butthurt about it. I just from a very neutral. I have a lot of it's just very neutral energy that I feel where I'm like, oh, I think people are getting a little annoyed with that, huh? Totally fine one way or another. I'm very indifferent. One of the things that like made me decide that like I think I'm at a good like place mentally to come back to YouTube and like make content again is that I'm just so wildly indifferent towards the reaction that my videos get. I'm just in it to like make shit, and then if people like it, that's the cherry on top. That's fucking awesome. It makes me so happy. But I don't need it. I don't need it. So if people hate it, that's fine. I don't know if that makes sense. It's not too uncommon to see or experience things that might like everything just clicks together and makes so much sense, yet it turns out wrong. Answers are often the simplest in these. But like, you're right. But at the same time, this is not a simple thing. Like the fact that I think the biggest thing that makes this almost impossible to ever figure out is they don't know when he jumped. Going back to the DB Cooper thing. What if they reposted your video? Would you pass out? That would make me pass. Yeah, I would fucking lose it. That I would lose it. Just the acknowledgement that they watched the video. They don't even have to like it. They don't have to show it any love. They don't have to repost it. I just know. I want to know. I can even accept the information of me knowing that they have not seen it. I'm cool with that. It's the not knowing part. I need to know if they are aware that it exists. Tashi just said to me, you're the man. He's the man. Speaking of the OA, who's your favorite character? I think that it's really hard to not root for Steve. He's the Jesse Pinkman of the OA, in my opinion. I feel like I annoy people sometimes. Oh, well. Yeah. Me too. I feel that way all the time. I feel like I'm annoying you guys right now, even though you are voluntarily hanging out with me. I'm very indifferent. Joey, minutes earlier at every single suspect he did. Yeah. What's up, Cassie? The Rabbit Hole Iceberg Explained by Parallel Pipes is another good video. Parallel Pipes is so fascinating to me. Because when I was doing research, before I made my iceberg video, I spent about 2 weeks just researching the iceberg community on YouTube. And what's very fascinating to me about Parallel Pipes, and again, I think I'm going to alienate a few of you guys in here talking about like YouTube metrics and stuff. But Parallel Pipes has the two most viewed iceberg videos that I could find on YouTube. He has the two most viewed iceberg videos on YouTube that I could find. And yet he only has like 6 videos total. Isn't that interesting? Like, that to me almost feels like, I'm not calling him a one-hit wonder because obviously he's not. But like, how cool is it that like you come onto I don't know, maybe he's made YouTube videos in the past and he like privated them or something. But that's what makes me very fascinated about it. Like, this guy just came onto the YouTube scene, dropped a few iceberg videos on it, absolutely crushed from the get-go. That's so cool. And the videos are great. I love the one about the Google Maps iceberg. That one was so cool. And it blew my mind that that there was not only so much stuff, but like, what a great video concept. Like, there's movie icebergs, there's YouTube icebergs, video game icebergs, there's internet culture icebergs, and all of those have an audience, right? But literally every single person with internet access uses Google Maps. And so when I see that video title, the Google Maps Anomaly Iceberg Explained, I have to click. And I am one of like, there's like the target demographic for that specific video is so large. There's at least 1 billion people that could watch that video. What's the YouTube channel? It's called Parallel Pipes. I'll drop the link real quick. And then we'll watch this video. I apologize. I go on these tangents. Yeah, Parallel Pipes has some damn good... how do you spell parallel? There we go. Parallel Pipes. I just want to know what the deal is with this content creator. He has 8 videos total and almost 300,000 subscribers. And all of his videos are killing it. And they're good. They deserve to be killing it. Just like good on him. The Google Maps Anomaly Iceberg, I recommend. Yeah, it's definitely some creepy shit. Nothing too creepy though. I made it through it. So if you have a light stomach like me, you can still get through it. All right. I donate you $4,000. Will you shave your head? No, probably not. But I appreciate the offer, man. I'll still take the money if you want. I've watched that Maps one many times. It's so good. It's so good. It was posted 7 months ago, and it has almost 9 million views. Fuck. Those numbers are crazy. Are you going to upload more iceberg videos? I liked the movie when you did. Thank you. I'd like to. I'm trying to put together one for TV shows, since I did one about movies. And I was working on it a little bit in the last 2 streams that I did. As of yesterday, Netflix is showing the OA on the main homepage slider. Why? Every time that happens, people post about it in the subreddit. I don't know. I don't know what that means. The Netflix relationship with the OA is so fascinating to me. It's so fascinating to me because it seems like I won't get into it. But like it's constantly on the now trending. But I also feel like it's the algorithm. So like if you've seen the OA before and you've watched it, they're going to put it on your homepage. I don't think it's for everybody. What's up, Jen? How you doing tonight? Another word Joey doesn't know how to spell. Is there a price for you to shave your head, Joey? No, I don't think so. I've said that I would shave my beard for $1,000. How about $8,000? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that there's got to be other YouTubers that would be down to do that, though. Like I think I've even rescinded the I'll shave my beard for $1,000 thing. I don't really feel like doing it anymore. I think that offer has expired. I've had that offer since the very first stream on here in July of last year or June of last year. So like over 7 or 8 months I've had that offer, but I think it's expired as of today. Netflix just likes to give us false hope. I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Just got off work, right on. What if the price got into the 6 figures? To shave my beard? Yeah, for sure. I'll do it for 6 figures. For sure for 6 figures. All right. All right, what are we doing? We're watching The Vanishing. The Vanishing of Flight 370. I definitely shave my non-existing beard for $8,000. Yeah, I'll shave my beard for $8,000, Giraffe. If you want to do that. Is that a good compromise? Not for your beard, but for your head. I don't want to shave my head. That's the thing. You know? I don't want to shave my head. Because I think, quite honestly, someone earlier was like, why don't you need to go bald? I think I will be one day. This thing is going farther and farther back. And it's also going like this. It's going like this. One of these days I'm just going to have to make the move. I'm going to have to make the jump. All right. Here we go. This has 20 million views. Of course, hair is hair. Here you go. All right, I'm waiting. Let's do it. The vanishing of Joey's forehead. Why did that give me, are you afraid of the dark vibes? Did you not know we were going to get that close? Did not know we were going to get that close up today. All right, let's go. All right, small giraffe. I'll, if the $8,000, if the 8 G's invoice comes in the middle of this video, I'll pause it and I'll shave my beard real quick. What if we all need to open our doors to let season 3 in? I feel like it's something like that. I do feel like something like that. Part of me, I don't want to make this another OA topic because you know me, I will go on to tangents about the OA, but I do feel like a few things that Zal has said on Instagram has made it seem like they're waiting for something to be unlocked within the fan base. Such as when people were saying like, is the OA coming back? He said something like, you need to spread the word. And then the you come find me thing. The you come find me thing is so fascinating. I think, this is another theory that I have, and I'm going to end it here. I think that it's a possibility that Zal's puzzles on Instagram are not puzzles for us. I think they're puzzles for Homer. Think about it. Do I even have to mention the production quality? No. Not at all. Okay, let's go. Let's fucking do it. Oops! Spoilers.
Just let me know.
Let's go. I'm ready. Rock my world. I'm waiting, Giraffe. I'm waiting. You calling the bank?
Delivery manager 370, good morning. Malaysian 370, standby.
Oh, wait, is this the flight that... Is
At
this
Kuala
Malaysian
Lumpur
Airlines?
International Airport,
I know
a
a little bit
Boeing
about this.
777 is preparing for departure.
Malaysian 370, request level. 370, we are ready, requesting flight level 350 to Beijing.
Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 is a daily passenger flight between Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia and Beijing, China.
370, 32 right of takeoff. Nice. 370, destination Malaysia 370,
42 minutes past midnight, Flight 370 is given clearance to depart. On board are Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, First Officer Farik Abdul Hamid, 10 cabin crew members, and 227 passengers.
Control Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, Lumpur radar, good morning. Climb flight level 250. Morning, level 250, Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, climb
Giraffe,
flight
I'm waiting. Giraffe, I'm waiting for my my mini feed to show it.
350. Level 350, Malaysian 350.
But that's not enough. You're short $1.
Less than an hour into the flight, the plane is cruising over the South China Sea at an altitude of 35,000 feet. The night sky is clear, and the weather is calm. Flight 370 is then instructed to signal air traffic control in Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam, as it is about to enter Vietnamese airspace. The flight controller in Kuala Lumpur says goodnight, with no sign that anything should be amiss.
Malaysian 370, maintaining level 350. Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, maintaining level 350. Malaysian 370. Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
1 minute and 43 seconds later, the aircraft suddenly vanish from radar screens at Kuala Lumpur, Ho Chi Minh, and Bangkok. This form of positional tracking depends on a signal being emitted by one of two transponders aboard the plane, and so its disappearance would suggest both transponders ceased to function, or the system was manually deactivated by someone on board. All subsequent attempts to contact and ascertain the whereabouts of Flight 370 are unsuccessful. The aircraft has seemingly vanished without a trace. After missing its scheduled time of arrival in Beijing some 4 hours later, Flight 370 is officially declared missing. And in the wake of that announcement, the most expensive search effort in aviation history is about to commence.
Wow. Oh, I just also have to commend the video. The video is so good. What a great intro.
The search was initially concentrated around the location of the flight's disappearance between the South China Sea and the Gulf of Thailand. The search area was soon expanded, however, after the Malaysian military disclosed additional information. Unlike the radar system employed by air traffic control, long-range military radar does not rely on transponders but use reflectance to track the position of aerial targets. A review of the data collected by the Malaysian military revealed that moments after contact with Flight 370 was lost, the aircraft had deviated from its scheduled flight path with a subtle turn to the right, followed by a prolonged turn to the left. The aircraft had then flown back towards and across the Malaysian peninsula before turning right.
I gotta rewatch that because I'm a little confused.
A review of the data collected by the Malaysian military revealed that moments after contact with Flight 370 was lost, the aircraft had deviated from its scheduled flight path with a subtle turn to the right, followed by a prolonged turn to the left.
How would they know this?
The aircraft had then flown back towards and across the Malaysian peninsula before turning right near the island of Penang. It maintained this northwesterly heading until it escaped the radar's coverage. Over the next few days, the Strait of Malacca, the Andaman Sea, and the Bay of Bengal was scoured by a multinational fleet of aircraft and vessels, but there was no trace of Flight 370.
Wow.
Meanwhile, investigators began to analyze the aircraft's satellite communication records. Like all modern airliners, Flight 370 was equipped with a satellite communications terminal, or SATCOM, to send and receive transmissions to and from the ground. Prior to departure, the SATCOM terminal had logged onto the satellite network and established a connection with a ground station in Perth, Australia. That station then maintained a detailed record of all the incoming and outgoing traffic between it and Flight 370. This is what it contained. Prior to the flight's disappearance over the South China Sea, everything appeared to be working as intended. Then, at some point during this portion of the flight, the SATCOM link was severed. For whatever reason, the terminal ceased to respond. But 3 minutes after the flight vanished over the Andaman Sea, the terminal requested to log back onto the network. The SATCOM link was successfully re-established and was not disrupted again until nearly 6 hours later, when the flight is presumed to have crashed due to fuel exhaustion. During these final hours, 2 attempts were made to contact the plane via satellite telephone. Both calls were acknowledged.
What's up, chillin'? We're watching a video about the vanishing of Flight 370. It was the Malaysian Airlines plane that went missing a few years ago. Feels like it's been a while, but yeah.
By the SATCOM terminal and would have been routed to the cockpit. Yet, they went unanswered. The terminal had also responded to 5 automatic status requests. In short, if the ground station had not heard from the aircraft in over an hour, it would transmit a signal to confirm the terminal was still online. While these transmissions did not contain any information about the flight's position, investigators were able to measure the distance between the satellite and the aircraft at the time of each transmission, based on how long it took those transmissions to be sent and received. This generated 7
So is there a
rings
theory? So it sounds like the working theory is that it was hijacked, right? What's up, Joy? Am I wrong in thinking that? Like, why else would it be flying, doing U-turns and stuff?
Possible locations from which 7 of these transmissions are thought to have originated. By taking fuel consumption, speed, and other factors into account, flight path analysis indicated the most probable origin of the final transmission to be somewhere along this arc in the southern Indian Ocean. The search effort shifted accordingly, and as the region fell within the jurisdiction of Australia, the Australian government took charge of the operation. Over the next few weeks, the search area was progressively refined to account for oceanic drift as well as improved estimations of the flight path. But this part of the southern Indian Ocean is so remote it took 6 days just to get there. A new fleet of aircraft and vessels gradually covered more than 4.5 million square kilometers of ocean, but Flight 370 was nowhere to be found.
The ocean is too big. We need to do something about that.
If the impact with the ocean had been sufficiently forceful, it was possible the resulting sound had been recorded by underwater listening devices known as hydrophones.
This
possibility was investigated, and 4 hydroacoustic monitoring stations had recorded something.
Those.
While the timing and direction of the sound were reasonably consistent with the
Ocean's too
satellite
big
transmission, The estimated origin was not. The sound was in all likelihood caused by nothing more than geological activity. Flight 370 was also equipped with 2 underwater locator beacons which had a battery life of some 40 days, and as the deadline approached in early April, signals with a pulse and frequency somewhat similar to the signal emitted by the beacons were detected at depths of up to 3,000 meters.
We need the ocean, but can we make it smaller? We're making them bigger. We're making, yeah, we need to make the oceans a little smaller. There's too much of it. We need them.
An autonomous
but too much.
submersible then
Too much of a
spent
good
weeks scanning the seafloor where the signals had been detected, but no wreckage was
We need to
ever
figure out
found.
what's going on.
And nothing would be found until more than 16 months later,
I'm down
when
for
a
both,
discovery
Bella.
was made on the opposite side of the Indian Ocean. On the 29th of July 2015, a group of people were cleaning up a beach in Reunion, a small island to the east of Madagascar, when they stumbled upon this 2-meter-long metallic object covered in barnacles. Aviation experts quickly identified the object as a section of an aircraft wing known as a flaperon.
Ooh.
Upon closer inspection, internal markings including dates and serial numbers conclusively ascertained the flaperon belonged to Flight 370.
No shit.
Even though Reunion Island is some 4,000 kilometers west of the search area, and more than a year had gone by since the flight disappeared, the location was consistent with simulations of debris dispersal patterns. There was now tangible evidence that Flight 370 had crashed somewhere in the Indian Ocean.
Wow.
The discovery of
Yo, what if there's a possibility that we have like a castaway situation here where people survived the flight crashing and we still have not found them yet? And they're on some like deserted island. And they have a volleyball with them. Just a thought.
The flaperon prompted numerous searches along beaches and shorelines of southeastern Africa, and at least 31 additional items of interest have since been recovered and examined. Some of these items include a section of the outboard flap from the right wing, a piece of cowling from one of the 2 engines,
I didn't know that they found anything.
a partial door from the nose landing gear,
They found a lot of shit.
a section of the vertical stabilizer, and a mangled casing from one of the embedded headrest monitors.
Wow. Wow.
18 of these items were identified as either likely, highly likely, or almost certain to have originated from Flight 370, whereas only 3 could be confirmed. The remaining 11
Just get
could
rid of
not be
humans. Problem
identified.
solved.
There were no traces of an explosion found on any of the debris tested, nor was there any evidence of a fire except for 3 small burn marks on one of the unidentifiable items.
Wait, real quick, the Wilson, I'm sorry. When he's screaming, "I'm sorry, Wilson." I still think about that and it still shakes me up a bit. I was pretty young when I saw Castaway for the first time. And it still shakes me up a little bit. So sad.
The
Tom
search
Hanks
for
is
debris
incredible.
was further aided by Earth observation satellites. Analyses of satellite imagery from March of 2014 uncovered a number of images which appeared to feature man-made objects floating on or just below the surface in the southern Indian Ocean.
Damn, I can't believe how
However,
long
the
ago
images were not
2014 was.
nearly sharp enough to resolve any identifiable markings, and multiple searches notwithstanding, this debris was never recovered. A satellite image taken mere hours after the final transmission also captured what appeared to be a contrail some distance away from the search area. A later analysis, however, concluded it was most likely a shadow from a somewhat linear cloud formation.
Ah. They got me.
The underwater portion of the search continued for months and eventually years before it was finally suspended in early 2017, by which point some 120,000 square kilometers of seabed had been scrutinized. The search effort was then resumed by an American salvage company known as Ocean Infinity, but after more than a year of searching, they too came up empty-handed.
Wow.
Unless the final resting place of Flight 370 can be located, it may be impossible to determine exactly why it crashed. Nevertheless, there have been no shortage of theories.
I'm sure
On the
there are
day of the
giants somewhere, at
disappearance,
least
2 of the
remains, for sure,
passengers raised
100%.
suspicion as they had boarded the flight with stolen passports, which
Whoa,
immediately
hold up.
On the day of the disappearance, 2 of the passengers raised suspicion as they had boarded the flight with stolen passports, which immediately prompted concerns of a hijacking. But investigators were unable to link the two men to any terrorist organizations, and soon determined they had traveled under false identities because they were seeking asylum, not due to any nefarious intent.
Wow.
Similar suspicions were raised when one of the passengers were identified as a flight engineer, who might have possessed the necessary expertise to take control of a Boeing 777.
I don't know, like, obviously there's no way to confirm or deny, but I think, like, what a heartbreaking thought of these two folks seeking asylum only to go on a plane that crashes in the ocean. God damn.
Apart from the 239 persons on board, Flight 370 carried nearly 11 metric tons of cargo. Among the items listed on the flight manifest was a shipment of lithium-ion batteries, which led some to suspect a fire might have broken out mid-flight. For instance, the crash of UPS Airlines Flight 6 in September of 2010 was the result of a fire that was ignited by a pallet of lithium-ion batteries. Another potential source of ignition would be an electrical malfunction. The crash of Swiss Air Flight 111 in September of 1998 is thought to have been caused by a fire within the electrical wiring above the cockpit. The fire damaged and disabled multiple avionics systems, including the transponders and SATCOM. In the case of Flight 370, the sudden loss of communication and subsequent deviation from its scheduled flight path might have been a direct response to a fire. The two pilots may have turned back towards Malaysia to attempt an emergency landing at the nearest suitable airport. But no such attempt was ever made. Instead, Flight 370 kept going and remained aloft for another 6 hours.
God damn.
Some
6 hours!
The crew might have been incapacitated by a sudden or gradual loss of cabin pressure. For instance, when Helios Airways Flight 522 failed to pressurize in August of 2005, the pilots quickly fell unconscious. Yet the aircraft continued to fly on autopilot for more than 2 hours until it ran out of fuel.
Wow.
Airline pilots are of course trained for such an event. In the event of cabin depressurization, an automatic system is designed to deploy oxygen masks to give the pilots enough time to perform an emergency descent to a more breathable altitude. The data recorded by the Malaysian military radar does indeed contain altitude information, but it is highly inconsistent.
True.
In fact, the Boeing
Clyde.
777 is incapable of performing the extreme altitude fluctuations recorded. At one point, the aircraft exceeded its maximum operating altitude by more than 15,000 feet.
Yeah, that's insane.
Before making a 50,000 feet nosedive in less than a minute.
What
Attempts
the
to
fuck?
recreate these maneuvers on a flight simulator were unsuccessful, and thus the data was deemed inaccurate and unreliable.
Okay.
If Flight 370 did lose cabin pressure at 35,000 feet, and the pilots were incapacitated before descending to a more oxygenated altitude, it might explain why the aircraft remained aloft for as long as it did.
I just think about the passengers just being in a plane like that for 6 hours. That's insane. That's just such a long time to be in a state of just like pure terror.
More difficult to explain, however, are these alterations in heading. Flight simulations have established the aircraft must have been under manual control during the initial left turn, as the bank angle or inclination of that turn was beyond the limits of the autopilot. Subsequent turns, however, could have been either manual or automatic. But for the autopilot to have made these course corrections, someone with the requisite knowledge must have programmed it to do so. The only other alternative is that the aircraft was in fact under manual control.
So then what's the deal? What's the deal?
In late June of 2014, several news outlets reported that a special investigation had identified the captain of Flight 370 as a prime suspect. A search of the captain's home had uncovered a flight simulator which supposedly contained a suspicious route which ended in the southern Indian Ocean. At the time, there was no official acknowledgement that such a route had been recovered, and a lengthy public report issued by the Malaysian government in 2015 made no mention of such a discovery. Then, in 2016, confidential documents pertaining to a forensic examination conducted by the Royal Malaysia Police in May of 2014 was leaked to the media. These documents made it clear that such a route had not only been recovered, but thoroughly examined. Soon thereafter, the Malaysian government confirmed the existence of this simulated flight path, and this is what it looks like. It should come as no surprise that many regard this as damning evidence of premeditation, but according to investigators, it is not quite so evident. The data recovered consists of 7 coordinates, 2 in Kuala Lumpur, 2 in the Strait of Malacca, 1 in the Bay of Bengal, and 2 in the southern Indian Ocean. The data was reconstructed from a file that had been automatically generated and saved by the simulation software a month before the incident. However, it's not clear whether the coordinates originate from the same flight session. In other words, it might not be correct to simply trace a continuous line between these 7 coordinates, as they could be from separate sessions. The
This is the
forensic
video
examination
game
by the Royal
Flight
Malaysia
Simulator?
Police
This shit
simply
is
concluded
crazy.
no activity captured conclusively indicate any kind of premeditated act pertaining to the incident of MH370.
Joy, I will say, I think it's a very valid thing to be afraid of is flying, but statistically, statistically the most dangerous. Oh shit! Hey Kevin, thank you for the $2 donation. What's up, Joey? Have you seen the Cuphead show? I haven't seen it yet. No, a couple people in the Discord have seen it though, and they said that it's I can't remember. I know Mikey said that he watched a few episodes. Did any of you guys watch it? I haven't seen it yet, but thank you for the donation, dude. What was I gonna say? The most dangerous part about flying is the drive to the airport. So yeah, just an interesting fact.
Even so, the similarities between the simulated route and the presumed route of Flight 370 directly influenced the search operation. Australian investigators considered the possibility of someone deliberately extending the range of the flight by gliding the aircraft off the fuel exhaustion. If so, the plane could have traveled an additional 200 kilometers. Alternatively, the range could have been reduced by a controlled ditching prior to fuel exhaustion. While ultimately deemed unlikely, these 2 scenarios did affect the search effort.
Right on.
If the captain steered Flight 370 off course with the intention of crashing in a remote part of the southern Indian Ocean, his motive is an even greater mystery. Zahari Ahmad Shah was 53 and married with 3 children. He had more than 18,000 hours of flight experience and a spotless track record. Investigators found no evidence of financial issues, and his monthly expenses before the disappearance indicated nothing unusual. He had no history of mental illness, nor had he displayed any recent changes in lifestyle or behavior. He was raised on the island of Penang, which has led some to speculate the flight's second turn to the southwest of Penang was the captain getting a final view of his hometown.
At
Some
night?
believe a hijacking could have been politically motivated, as Zahari was an avid supporter of a democratic opposition leader who was sentenced to 5 years in prison mere hours before Flight 370 took off. Others point to unconfirmed reports of marital issues, but this is contradicted by the official investigation and disputed by family members.
Yeah, this doesn't
The
add up
only
for me.
real inconsistency noted by the final report is that the captain failed to repeat the assigned radio frequency during the last verbal communication.
I think that
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night. Good night, Malaysian 370.
It would have been standard procedure to repeat the assigned frequency as the captain had correctly done a few minutes prior.
370, contact Lampur Radar 1326, good night.
Alright, 1326 Malaysian 370.
Whether this omission is indicative of anything but a mistake is anyone's best guess.
I don't think. I mean, it
By
sounds
all
like
accounts, Captain Zahari
let
was
him
an
talk.
affable and well-respected pilot who was passionate about aviation, as evident by the photos and videos he shared on social media.
Hi everyone, this is a YouTube video that I've made as a community service after learning.
The co-pilot
Ugh,
was
this makes
found
me
to be
sad.
even less conspicuous. Farik Abdul Hamid was only 27 and due to marry a fellow pilot. He had nearly 3,000 hours of flight experience, although only 39 hours in this type of aircraft. Much like Zahari, Farik had no financial, mental or interpersonal issues of note, nor was there any evidence of conflict.
it sounds like it was hijacked. Does it not? Like someone hijacked the plane, cut off the communication, and then did all of these erratic movements, and I can't think of anything else, but that's the take that I have so far from all this information.
Between the two of them. Some question the plausibility of a pilot-instigated hijacking due to the apparent lack of interference by the other pilot.
Okay.
Well, when Ethiopian Airlines Flight 702 was hijacked by the co-pilot in February of 2014, he did so by merely waiting for the captain to take a bathroom break before locking the cockpit door behind him. The co-pilot was then free to divert the Italy-bound flight to Switzerland to seek asylum. The only noteworthy piece of evidence in regards to the co-pilot of Flight 370 is his phone. You see, when the confidential documents were leaked, they also confirmed another long-circulated rumor, namely that a cell phone tower had briefly established a connection with an iPhone 5S belonging to the co-pilot as Flight 370 approached the island of Penang. According to investigators, it was not a phone call as has been widely reported by the media, but merely an automatic location signal. Why this information was omitted from public reports, we may never know. So what is one to make of all of this? On the one hand, the simulated flight path seems suspicious. On the other, it is difficult to cast any substantial doubt on either of the two pilots' character. It is equally difficult to deny a hijacking is consistent with the available evidence. Then again, we're missing some quite major and literal pieces of evidence. The final report issued by the Malaysian government in 2018 could not attribute the loss of communication nor diversion of Flight 370 to a malfunction. Instead, it is believed that someone manually manipulated the aircraft and its systems. For instance, investigators believe SATCOM was manually disabled by a sudden and prolonged interruption of power. Then, once power was restored, the terminal simply rebooted. Likewise, the alterations in heading are believed to be the result of manual inputs. With that being said, the uncertainty of these findings are repeatedly emphasized due to the limited evidence available, and the report does never explicitly state the flight was hijacked. In fact, no real conclusion is reached.
That's fair.
Both the Malaysian and Australian government agree that Flight 370 crashed in the southern Indian Ocean.
Oof,
but
this
that
is
the cause
look at this. Looking at a plane underwater from the inside.
Government agreed that Flight 370 crashed in the southern Indian Ocean, but that the cause is indeterminable without the wreckage, the location of which has managed to elude some of the foremost aviation experts in the world, as well as an impressive arsenal of cutting-edge technology for more than half a decade. Authors, aviation experts, and independent investigators have all chimed in to offer their own thoughts and theories as to the nature of the crash and the location of the wreckage. Some believe there was no crash, but that the aircraft was shot down by an American naval base in the middle of the Indian Ocean. The satellite transmissions were then supposedly forged as part of a massive cover-up. Others believe the aircraft turned right towards India and traveled as far north as Kazakhstan, completely undetected. Debris was then supposedly planted along shorelines of southeastern Africa as part of a massive cover-up. Another theory suggests the aircraft was remotely hijacked and controlled by someone on the ground. While Boeing and other companies have experimented with technology that would allow for an aircraft to be remotely controlled, no commercial airliner is known to be outfitted with such a system.
Oh my god, that sounds horrifying.
On the less conspiratorial side, the assumption that Flight 370 flew in a straight line and at a constant speed after turning left towards the southern Indian Ocean might simply be incorrect. In early 2018, a French team of independent investigators proposed an alternate flight path, whereby an attempted landing on Christmas Island led to a crash site much further north than the region identified by the official investigation. While a surface search of this area was conducted about a week after the disappearance, the underwater phase never reached this far north. As of the making of this video, the search operation has been suspended, but there have been talks of potentially resuming the search. For now, it seems, the vanishing of Flight 370 will remain a mystery.
Good shit. Good shit. Good video. I think that you have to question if they're in our timeline anymore, you know? You have to question if they're still in our dimension, just because of, like, I don't know. I also think, what was I gonna say? I think the Earth is too big. I think the Earth is too big. We can't find shit. Things go missing too often. We lost a goddamn plane because the Earth is too big. What are we to do about this? Demon, you did call it. I remember you said you dropped a very cryptic. You just said remote hijacking. They're in the worst timeline. Sometimes I feel like we're in the worst timeline. How's the time traveling research coming along? I would ask Willie 2024. The ocean is big. The world is big. Do we need it to be this big? Can we do something about this? Can we take the Earth and like if the Earth is this if the Earth is this big, or like if the Earth is this big, can we just make it like this big? The ocean is canceled, okay? Canceled. No more. No more. No more ocean. We're done with it. I'm going to run for president. And my whole campaign is going to be make the Earth smaller. Make the Earth smaller. Make the Earth smaller. Make the ocean smaller. Make it less deep as well. We don't need it to be this deep. We could take the bottom 40%, 50%. We can just huck it into space. Just take a syringe. Take a big syringe and suck up the bottom of the ocean, and then just right into space. Okay? Make the I want it bigger. We have too much room. The only reason I want the Earth to be smaller is because we keep losing shit. If we want the Earth to be this big, we need to do better at not losing shit. The black box has a tracker on it. How long does it last after a crash? Unsure. But that is insane to not. Yeah, we were just watching. Have you guys watched Yellow Jackets? It's on Showtime. It's incredible. And it's also related to a plane crash. Not in the ocean, though. That has Hitler vibes, maybe something else. Does it? Okay, I'll stop. If you make Earth smaller, more people would be crowded, and I like having my space. I feel like America, at least, we have a lot of open space. Nobody lives in Wyoming. We can make that a metropolis. Who will be the VP? We don't have enough room. We don't have enough room for that. Joey wants to be Thanos. Oh my god, that is Thanos. Isn't that his whole thing? Okay. All right. Y'all have been changing my mind quite a bit this stream, you know? I thought DB Cooper died. I don't think he died anymore. Well, I mean, maybe he died of natural causes, but I don't think he died after jumping out of the plane. I thought Willie 2024 was just faking. Now I think he's a time traveler. I'll make a Kickstarter for ocean water syringe. We need it. It's got to be big. It's got to be big. Did that kind of sound like a toot? If Joey ever finds a genie lamp, we're screwed. Tell me your wishes, Joey. Yeah. Well, I'll discuss with you guys. I promise you this. Let me turn this down a little bit. I promise you this. If I ever find a genie lamp, before I give my 3 wishes, I will consult with you guys. I'll definitely consult with you guys. Runs for president in the future, has a slogan, make the world smaller, make the ocean smaller, in small print. I've got the space syringe. Mooses live in Wyoming. Do they? You know, I've driven through Wyoming a couple times. I haven't seen... You know, I think I mentioned this on... I don't think I've ever mentioned this on YouTube, but when I was on my road trip and we drove through Wyoming, we maybe saw 11 other cars. Maybe. And I will never forget driving past a sign in the middle of nowhere off the side of the highway that said, "Welcome to the town of blank, population 4." And I feel like that was an exaggeration. I feel like that they were over counting. There's no way 4 people lived out there. What's up, SK? Just came from an old hanging with Dashy. Where's Dashy? What's up, man? He's probably at his house. Family loses clothes often. It's not going to make it smaller. That would make things not disappear. And I still haven't found my Wii Sports Resort game. No, not the Wii Sports Resort. I guess there's no room for Congress either. This is your plan for world domination. I just think we need to... I think we're overthinking who's going to do what responsibilities or what. I think we're fine with that. Everybody can do their roles. We can all do our thing. We just need to make... I'm not going to say it again. We just need to do a better job of finding shit. Okay? It's not mooses, it's meese. 4 people, that's not a town, that's a hamlet. I mean, it's basically just a family, right? That's just a family of 4. 2 parents, 2 kids, maybe. 1 parent, 3 kids. I need to move there. There are some places, I know that there are some places in the country that they will pay you to move to. I'm pretty sure Alaska does it. Is there not another place in the world that does that? I think Alaska pays you like $10K to move there. I could be wrong. I wouldn't want our oceans to be smaller. There are reasons why the oceans are that large. We know that giant animals are roaming the oceans and staying at bay for real. Yeah, imagine we eliminate the bottom half of the ocean and then we just see some Cthulhu's out there, you know? Did you see my father-in-law's picture on Discord? I'm building an investigation folder there. Let's go. Let me pop that up. Let me see what the deal is. Oh, I see the OA trending. Photos. My father-in-law, ex-army paratrooper, door gunner, Vietnam vet, aka DB Cooper. I mean, I see the resemblance. I kind of see the resemblance. This guy look like DB Cooper to y'all? I think it's legit. Finding things without shrinking the planet. Yeah, if we can do that, that's just one option. We keep losing shit. What can we do? Just make the space smaller so it'll be easier to find stuff. You watching more vids, Joe? Yeah, I think we're gonna watch a back room video. I don't know. Do I want to do that? Maybe we do that later, some other time. I want to watch a backroom explain. I want to know more about backrooms without watching backrooms. That shit's too scary, man. This video that I want to watch. It's a 9-minute video called The Backrooms Explained, and it looks like it's all animated in like a WikiHow style. And I think that's just scary enough for me, or that's just that I think that could work for me. The comedy of robbing a bank in a population of 4 people in a town. Yeah, who did it? Alaska is the most dangerous place in the world. Is it really? I didn't know that. They paid my husband $12,500 to move to Tampa. Fuck. Damn, and Tampa's pretty good. Like, I like Tampa. Tampa's pretty dope. Jen, while I was working for a film festival that traveled around the country, we stayed in Tampa for, I think, about a month. And we stayed in a house in an Airbnb that was, like, right on Bayshore. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. Obviously, the houses there, way out of my price range. But for an Airbnb that was being paid for by a company that I was working for, it was sick. It was so cool. What is backroom video? It sounds not safe for work somehow. It's, well, I think we'll find out with the backroom explain thing. But can anyone else explain it? I don't think I could explain it. It's just, nope, not even gonna try. Right when I start to try to explain it, I'm like, Joey, I'm saying to myself, like, Joey, you barely know anything about backrooms. What do you can't explain something you don't know. Always remember that, okay? You can't explain something that you don't know. What sea creatures do y'all think lives deep in the ocean? I mean, I was pretty into the Loch Ness Monster when I was a little kid. I watched a lot of those, like, History Channel, Discovery Channel mini docs about the Loch Ness Monster. Old Nessie. The Backrooms isn't really scary, though. It's just a liminal space. Yeah, it's more about just, like, eerie vibes. Am I right? Eerie vibes from a room that takes you to another dimension? I don't know. That's the vibe that I've been getting from Backrooms. I could be wrong. I heard that Florida is a myth. My whole life's a lie. What is the best part of living in Florida? That list is getting smaller and smaller, my friend. But I don't know. I don't know. Publix. Easy, actually. That was actually a very easy question. Publix. Pub subs. I freaking love it here. I'm definitely not leaving. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I grew up in South Florida, and I think that when people think of Florida and, like, the hot spots and, like, the best places to go to, a lot of people think of South Florida. They think of Miami. They think of South Beach, which is Miami, but and Fort Lauderdale. I think West Florida is the spot. I think Tampa is one of the best cities in Florida that Florida has to offer, in my opinion. I can explain things I don't know pretty well. Yeah, I think I think some people have a gift of, like, I can't get away with it. I can't. I thought the Tooth Fairy was a criminal when I was a kid. You know what? In a way, they kind of are. Except they're kind of like reverse criminals because they leave you money, and they're like reverse pickpocketing. No clip through the ground. Is that a video game reference? Infinite yellow walls. Okay, we gotta check this out. So I work at Publix, and while the customers are good, the management sucks. Oh shit, I didn't know you work at Publix. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, as a customer, Publix rocks, but I also think it makes perfect sense that the management sucks. I believe you on that. Though I will say, I had a lot of friends growing up that that enjoyed working for Publix in high school. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Jen, you would know way better than I do, but it sounds like it was a cool. I was always kind of jealous of them. It sounds like it was a cool place to work when you're, like, growing up, and, like, working part-time. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I could be dead wrong. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's the best. It's just solid. It's very solid. And, like, I feel like it's the only place that I've ever been to that has chicken tender subs. And the bread. And then once they start, I'm going off on a Publix tangent here, but when I was in college, when I moved into an apartment with my friends, there was a Publix in walking distance of our place, right? And around the same time that we moved there, Publix dropped the game-changing feature of you can order online pub subs. So like basically what we would do is we would go on our computers, basically like order our Publix our pub subs and pay and everything. And then once we were done doing that, we would just walk over to the Publix, and by the time that we got there, our pub subs were ready. Boom. It was such a game changer. Because that was like before the time of, that was before the days of like Uber Eats and Instacart. Reverse pickpocketing is called a donation. Yeah, but okay. You're not wrong. I got cursed out recently by a customer overpriced, but my manager basically told him he could curse us out and get whatever he wanted. Oh, Lord. I'm going to vacation to Publix, not Florida Publix. I would do it. If Publix, that's a great idea, actually. Publix should build, Publix should start buying out buildings where, you know, there's like businesses on the first floor and then apartments on above it. I would live above a Publix. That sounds like the best, most convenient thing ever. It's definitely for younger people because I've been working in customer service for over 15 years and never been treated badly like here. Customer service. So much respect, truly. Okay, let's watch The Backrooms Explained. And I can't guarantee if this is or is not spooky, so I will say, I'm going to give you the 5-second, 10-second warning. For anyone that doesn't want to watch The Backrooms Explained, we're about to go into it. It's 9 minutes long, almost exactly. So I would say if you want to exit out of the stream, I would do it now and then maybe come back in like 10 or 11 minutes just to allow for a couple pauses just in case there's anything I need to say. So I would say fair warning. We're about to watch this. Head out now. I'll see you in 10 minutes.
It's an ordinary.
What is The Backrooms? I don't know. Let's read this real quick. This maze of gross yellow wallpaper and soggy carpets is filled with evil creatures that will kill you after you've given up trying to survive the backrooms. That's all I got. Ugh, I'm kind of nervous, but let's go. All right, y'all. But like, it doesn't look scary. It doesn't look like this is gonna be scary. The visuals look too corporate-y.
It's an ordinary Tuesday afternoon at an ordinary office building. Grace, an intern, gets on the elevator in the garage. She's bound for the CEO's office on the 10th floor. Just as the doors close, Rob, a junior sales agent, hops in. Previously, Grace had been a victim of one of Rob's little pranks, pressing all the buttons right before he gets off on the first floor. This made the elevator stop on every floor and caused Grace to be lectured for returning from break a few minutes late. Today, she's ready. First floor, the elevator doors open. Rob steps out and turns back to run his hand down the button panel. In a move worthy of a ninja, Grace maneuvers around him and lightly shoves his shoulder. Surprised, Rob stumbles back into the elevator. Grace tosses him a smug grin as the doors close. Sure, she has to wait for another elevator, but it's worth it. Annoyed, Rob repeatedly mashes the door open button, and the lights in the elevator flicker, and it pauses for almost an imperceptible second before it continues to rise. Rob doesn't know it yet, but he's just no-clipped out of reality. The elevator beeps for the second floor. The doors open. Rob leaps out. He looks around in sudden confusion. On either side of him are long hallways. In front of him is a large empty office space. He can't remember what color the walls in his office are, but he's sure that they weren't a dingy sunshine yellow. He turns around to go back into the elevator, but the wall behind him is solid. No elevator. Disbelieving, Rob feels the wall. It's cold, almost damp, but smooth with no cracks. Rob doesn't know how they did it, but he's sure it's a joke. He turns back to the empty office and walks forward. You got me, guys, he says, fully expecting a bunch of coworkers to pop out with their cell phones, recording their amazing prank. His voice echoes slightly in the vastness of the empty space. There's no answer. The room is still except for the loud hum of the fluorescent lights. It smells quite unpleasantly of old paper, stale coffee, and mildew. The
How
annoying
specific?
buzz from the lights is making Rob's head throb. If it keeps up, he'll have a migraine. He takes out his cell phone. His fingers are slippery with perspiration as he texts. The message icon just spins. It can't send his message. Rob tries calling, but the line is dead. His phone doesn't have any bars. He walks all over the office space holding his phone up, trying to see if he can get better reception. Squish! His
Relatable.
expensive leather loafer sinks into the soggy tan carpet in the right corner of the room. In fact, a patch of carpet so wet, tiny toadstools are sprouting. A sudden odd grunting, growling noise makes Rob spin around. A chill skitters down his spine. Across the room is something. It looks like a human crawling on its hands and feet, but the elbow and knee joints are bent the other way. Its face is surrounded by shaggy, matted dark hair. The creature tilts its head up and sniffs the air before making a grunting growl again. At first, Rob is frozen, but he gets a hold of himself. Hugging the wall at his back, he begins to sidestep toward the entrance in the next room. The creature hangs back. It seems to be intimidated by the eye contact. Its cold black eyes stare back at Rob. It has a weird, aggressive smile on its face, but it's not coming closer. Rob's almost to the entrance when disaster strikes.
No!
The moist mildew smell wafting from the carpet makes him sneeze. He breaks eye contact. The creature growls and charges toward him. It has a strange, quick gait. Rob turns and runs. The next room is the same, overly cheerful yet dingy yellow walls, moist tan carpet, and buzzy, glaring fluorescent lights. Rob dashes across the room. The creature's gaining on him. The room ends in a T-shaped hallway. Rob zags right. He slips, barely managing to stay on his feet. His loafers weren't made for running on moist carpet. Rob runs down the hallway, passing several rooms. They're all the same, yellow and tan. There's a loud growl behind him. Rob looks back. The creature has been joined by a second beast. They're gaining on Rob. They can't be more than 20 feet away. Their toothy grins are terrifying. Up ahead, the hallway dead ends. Rob barely has time to turn around before they attack. He kicks one in the face. Its head snaps back and it whimpers.
Nice.
The other creature claws at Rob's chest. He pushes it away and kicks it too. The creature glums onto his shoe, sinking its teeth into the leather and yanking it free. It chews on its prize while the other creature growls at Rob menacingly. But it doesn't come any closer as Rob stares at it. Without breaking eye contact, Rob reaches down, takes off his other shoe, and tosses it. The creature springs after it. Rob manages to sidle past the first creature who's engrossed in ripping apart Rob's hand-stitched loafer. He ducks into a room. Once out of the sight of the creatures, he runs on socked feet through the room, and then another and another. Several rooms later, Rob collapses in a heap on the floor. His heart's galloping a mile a minute. What were those things? Where is he? The room he's in is the same as all the others except for one difference. In a corner is a 5-drawer file cabinet. Once Rob catches his breath, he wanders over and tries opening each of the drawers. Sadly, they're all locked. Rob walks into another room. He feels gross. He has wet patches on his slacks from where he sat down. His socks are clammy. His cell phone is missing. He lost it while escaping the creatures. He doesn't know what to do, so he keeps walking. He goes into the next room, and the next. It's a veritable maze of yellow offices with tan carpets. Suddenly, he hears something. The sound is faint, but somehow familiar. Rob strains to hear, but the sound stops. He walks in the direction he thinks the sound's coming from. 2 rooms later, he hears it again. It's a telephone. It's ringing. The ringing is echoing. The ringing phone means communication. It means other people. Perhaps it even means a way out of here, wherever this place is. But first, Rob has to find the phone. Rob takes off his socks. He'd rather walk barefoot on the gross carpet. Moist socks freak him out. He also takes off his belt. He wants to be prepared in case those horrible creatures show up again. The next room, of course, is the same as all the others, but it has a lone desk. The desk drawers are not locked. One has paper clips, several ballpoint pens, and a highlighter. Rob tries writing on the wall, but the chartreuse highlighter can't be seen against the yellow. The other drawer is empty except for a crumpled, half-full bag of stale tortilla chips. Rob suddenly realizes that he's not hungry or tired. In fact, he's lost all sense of time. He looks at his watch. It stopped. How long ago, it's hard to say. Rob walks on. Sometimes the rooms have an item or two, but most times they don't. As he walks, he has conversations in his head with his co-workers, the kind of chat one has when they find themselves in the break room waiting for their coffee to brew. How about those Dodgers last night? You're gonna surprise the wife with a 20th anniversary trip to Tahiti? That sounds amazing. Sucks that little Caitlin needs braces. Our dental plan isn't that great. Rob also talks to Grace in his head. Sorry about the elevator. I was just blowing off some steam. You're pretty. I wish I knew how to talk to you instead of resorting to juvenile pranks to get your attention. He wonders what magic Grace did to transport him to this desolate yellow hellscape. Rob can hear the phone ringing loud and clear now, although it's still hard to know exactly where it's coming from. He sees the creatures a few more times. He stares them down and cracks his belt at them. They reluctantly slink away. He also sees a lady in a power suit with a shell-shocked expression, but she scurries away before he can say anything to her. Then almost unexpectedly, he steps into a room just like all the others, except there's a black business phone on a desk in the center of the room. Rob sits down to wait. It's not long before the phone rings. His hand trembling, Rob picks it up. Hello? He's surprised to find that his voice is rusty from disuse. He clears his throat and tries again. Hello? The line is buzzy, the connection not the greatest. It takes a moment for Rob to process what the woman on the phone is yelling about. It's been a long time since anyone has spoken to him. The technician was supposed to come to her house between 9 and 4, and it's now 4:17, and no one has showed up. And what is he going to do about it? Rob sets the phone down. He gets under the desk and lays there in the fetal position. He doesn't care that his button-up shirt is getting wet. The back rooms. Depending on whom you ask, there are over 100 levels of back rooms, each simply waiting for some poor, unsuspecting soul to somehow glitch out of reality and get stuck in a horrific maze. Some levels have horrible humanoid monsters. Some levels are gaily decorated with balloons and bunting that says happy birthday. Of course, were you to show up for a birthday party in the back rooms, chances are you would not survive the killer clowns. Some purists insist there's only 3 levels to the back rooms. I'm inclined to believe that only a single level exists. When the image of an empty office with cheap tan, stain-resistant carpet, fluorescent lighting, and yellow walls was posted in a paranormal forum, it resonated with so many because it spoke of our existential nightmares. It's a metaphor for the horrors of modern life, that for many of us our job is meaningless, unfulfilling, and rife with endless bureaucracy. The ultimate horror isn't a werewolf who wants to use your left shin bone as a chew toy, or a vampire that wants to drain you of your blood, or any other made-up horror, but a soul-sucking job. But what do I know? I'm just an overworked, caffeinated, underpaid writer sitting in a drab cubicle with nothing except for my laptop, surrounded by other overworked, caffeinated, underpaid writers sitting in their drab cubicles, each of us maniacally typing away, striving to meet deadlines. Now go watch the crazy results of a 1940s experiment by Russian scientists, or watch this to find out about the real-life event The Purge came from. Click one now.
Damn. Okay. I'm waiting for... the Backrooms movie. I feel like that's for sure gonna go down. I can't watch... No, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the found footage one. Not tonight, at least. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm a wuss! Okay? I admit it! Well, you want me to say it? I said it! I'm scared. I'm scared very easily. I admit it! The girl who got stuck in the elevator months passed by, but her phone says only minutes by. Oof. What's up, Mikey? What he watching? We were watching a video that explains what the back rooms are. I really love this channel. I think that it's a really cool idea, the infographics show. It basically has this like, it's like the corporate animation style, but of things that are normally creepy. And so it allows folks like me who are like morbidly curious in creepy things, but I'm too scared to watch them. This puts it in a this presents things that are scary in a way that is not scary to a degree so that I can watch it. Which is kind of, it's perfect. It's perfect for me. I want to see if they have Worst Ways to Die, Science Explained, Crime, Royal Family. This is good stuff. I think that I'll keep this in mind for future streams. I'm about to end this stream, FYI, just because I am hungry, so I'm gonna get some food. But I wanted to watch at least one thing backroom related because we were talking about it for so much. We were talking about it for so much. How about let's do the elevator rabbit hole of the girl who pressed buttons to go to a different dimension and ended up dead in the water tank. We actually there was a Netflix docu-series about that me and Bree watched during the first quarantines, and it was very interesting. That hotel, I'm trying to remember what that hotel was. Hey, what was that hotel? Bree. Never mind. She can't hear me. What was the hotel called? What was the hotel? Hotel. Scary hotel. Scary hotel. With the girl in the water tank. Cecil Hotel. Cecil Hotel. Oh, y'all beat me to it. Thank you, though. Trump Hotel. Scary for different reasons, but you're not wrong. I think about how the Grinch is basically brother from the Berenstain Bears. What? And then when the Grinch dies, he becomes Jack Skellington? I found her Tumblr, and it was so weird to go through her post right before her death. The docuseries talks a little bit about that. I think it was pretty fucking crazy how, like, YouTubers went to the hotel and, like, did vlogs about where she died. It's wild. It's now apartments. What I think the craziest thing about that docuseries was that they had interviews about the person that was the manager at the time, and they were just like so openly bad at their job and like made it so clear that they were bad at their job, but didn't seem to understand that they were explaining how bad they were at their job. It's interesting. The people bathing in her bath. What? Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like purposefully, but yes. Horrifying. The real villain of that docuseries was the manager, in my opinion. For allowing that hotel to get as bad as it did. YouTubers figured out how easy it was to go up there. Or brushing their teeth. Yeah, just like that water in general. Oh my god, it's awful. It's awful. But yeah, I mean, check this out. Oh, wait, hold up. This infographics show thing is awesome. They have... Oh, there's only 2 videos, but still. They have crazy things actually sold on the dark web. That sounds awesome. The human experience, darkest corner of deep web exposed. And they have an entire series for horror and suspense. But again, like the animation style of it is not that scary. And so it's easily consumable for folks like me that are scared easily, but still have curiosity. I'd be interested in that. I'd be down to go through these. I'm going to... Should I subscribe to this? I don't know. They post a lot. They post multiple times a day. How do they do that? They must have so many animators. That's so many videos. I'm just going to, like, save... How do I save this? Save playlist. Okay. Pardon. I also really want... Oh! Y'all, check out this video. This video is just called The Great Silence. This sounds awesome. I think the next stream, I want to do videos about space and aliens. Because there's 2 videos here alone that I'm dying to check out. The Unknowns, Mystifying UFO Cases, and then The Great Silence. This sounds awesome. This sounds awesome. And then we can also check out the Illuminati one. I'm down to just make next stream a watch party for this one channel, because it's good. This is the same one that did the search for DB Cooper and the vanishing of Flight 370. What's up, Z? Biosludge. Bathing in death water is normal? What? Thanks for coming in, Bella. I think I saw The Great Silence. What is Biosludge? Is that a video? sludge. Should I not watch this? It's the new corporate farm fertilizer. That's probably not it. That doesn't sound right. Ooh, there's also one for the Lost Colony of Roanoke. I've never dived too deep into the Roanoke thing, but it sounds wild. What else? What else? What else? There's a lot. This channel is great. Good on them. Thanks for coming in, Jen. All right, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream as well. Or I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna head out as well by ending the stream. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you so much for coming in, everybody. This was fun to watch these very fascinating videos with y'all. Incredibly interesting. Awesome. Okay, we'll make that a thing then. All right, y'all. I will see you guys on Tuesday of next week, and I'll see you guys in the Discord. Until then, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there, and drink a lot of water.